Okay, we're live with another Cartridge Club Hangout, finally starting up. A little later than planned. I'm here with Oaz. How's it going, man?
It's going good. It's getting chilly tonight. It's supposed to be down in the 20s down here in the south.
Oof.
So it's not really cold, but it's cold for here.
I'm still not used to doing Fahrenheit to Celsius conversions on the fly, but I imagine that's fairly cold.
Let's see, 20 to Celsius. It's -6 2/3.
Oh, that's significantly colder than here. You are below Canada. Congratulations.
We get lucky every now and then.
Been dealing with much snow?
No, just there was a threat of snow, and it would have been nice if we got some because everything shuts down around here. Like I would have been able to. I would have gotten tomorrow off from work.
Yeah, there's been no snow here either. It's kind of unnerving. It's kind of like you don't want it to, but then it doesn't at all, and you're like, where the hell's the snow? Like, the year I finally remember to buy a snow shovel beforehand.
And you don't get any?
Yeah. Then again, the weather's weird here in BC. It's probably going to be like mid-February and we'll get snow. Hey, Yoshi.
Hey, you guys.
How's it going?
Not so great.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you know, just having to type up lots of bullshit lab report.
Yeah.
Oh, well then
Tedious.
That doesn't matter. It's school stuff.
Let's see. I've typed up 12 pages of lab report. It's not done yet. I have to send it to my partner so he can type some bullshit in. It's one of those professors.
Yeah. Any non-school related stuff going on?
I found a Luther to fix my guitars. Because I have one with a bad truss rod. So yeah, that's going to be helpful. And now I get to send this. Sorry, I need to send this lab report out.
Okay.
Go to the Outlook.
Yeah. Talking with P1 in the chat before starting up. Welcome back, P1, by the way. Just to say that on air. I guess I already said it in chat.
Hey there, P1.
Trying to make things work as I go. Anyway, yeah, the combat in Warframe is definitely kind of Vanquish-like, at least with the momentum of it, like with the sliding and doing the bullet jumps and all that. There is a definite Vanquish feel to that, now that you mention it.
Actually, I really liked. I didn't beat Vanquish, but Vanquish I thought was a fun game.
Yeah,
just the quick movement and stuff.
It's not exactly the same. Like you don't like boost like for however long your meter is, but
yeah. I never put that together, but yeah. I thought I had it somewhere over here on this shelf, but
yeah, I've got it. I'm not gonna pull it out because I think everyone knows what Vanquish looks like. But so yeah, I beat that game in a day. I was intentionally challenging myself to do so, but I should go back and take a more relaxed playthrough of it at some point. Very good game.
Yeah, I haven't sat down to beat it. Actually, I'm not sure I still have it installed when I had to install the new hard drive. Nope, I didn't. But I'd play it for an hour or two and then go on to something else.
Vanquish, you mean?
Yeah, with Vanquish.
Sorry, I was distracted. I had forgotten to turn my heater off. It's a loud bastard, so I have to kind of keep an eye on it.
What? I can't hear you. The heater's too loud.
What?
Exactly.
Say something.
Get off my lawn.
You got some beard envy going on in the chat there, I was.
Who's that? That's fucking real, but love the beard.
I'm gonna go read the chat.
Was it?
Doo-doo-doo.
Almost 4 months now. Haven't really messed with it. Other than trimming the mustache.
Yeah,
otherwise my
well
mustache would be
maintained.
down here. Well, I brush it and shampoo it and condition it and I take care of it. I just haven't had a need to trim it up a bunch yet, which is nice. That's part of the reason to not shave, so you don't have to spend that time shaving.
Yeah,
Shaving sucks.
I see a lot of people with beards. Just this is a pet peeve of mine. I see a lot of people with beards. They treat it like they never have to touch a razor or a grooming tool ever again. It's just like it's like either clean shaven or mountain man. It's insane. Like,
hey, man.
no one does the trimming up here or their neck at all. It's just like wild and it's infuriating.
Yeah. Well, I trimmed down here, but it's been
2
or 3 weeks. It's ever since if I do this, then I clean up everything.
Yeah, that's just the thing that frustrates me for some reason. It's just like a beard is not a license to never groom.
Sure it is.
It depends on who you're talking to.
This is true.
Yeah.
It also depends on if you're married.
I'm gonna put it out there.
I'm
if
married.
Your beard looks like freaking like mountain man beard, if you're walking up to me, your next question must be, what year is it? Because there's no other excuse for you to have a beard that unmaintained.
Hey man, what year is
I like it. I don't know.
Yeah, welcome to Beard Talk, I guess. I don't know.
I could fluff mine up. It's about that big if I fluff it up. Which I have some fun with it, so.
A slightly delayed response here, but yeah, Marmal, you can join in if you want to. Clearly, there are some open spots.
There's plenty.
So, is there a limit to the number of people that can jump in? Well, I guess there.
I think 10, including the host.
Something
Wow.
like that.
That would be a mess of stuff.
Trying to think of video game stuff to talk about. What is news?
What is news?
Oh,
The Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah.
Last week?
Yeah, it was between
last week or the week before.
Between Hangouts that happened. Yeah, I'm actually kind of glad they're doing that, because it's just they're being open and transparent about it, and rather have a good game and have it take longer.
I agree. I much prefer that than to getting some garbage. It's nice that they're saying, hey, you know what? We know this isn't where we want it to be.
Yeah. So scrap, start again. Better to do that after like a year and a half, 2 years than like 5 years in, and you realize it's in development hell and it's not going to work.
Yeah. I wish Blizzard had done that with some of their other games, though. Just like, all right, we're scrapping it, going back to square one. We're not canceling it. I still want Ghost.
Well,
it lives.
Well, we do know someone that scrapped something. Are you talking about Nintendo?
Yeah.
Do you just selectively listen? Metroid Prime 4. We're talking about Metroid Prime 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
I selectively listen. Yep. I'm good at this.
It's fine. But
they scrapped it, but they haven't canceled it. And that's what is irritating.
They're hitting the reset button, which is fine. Which I didn't do it with Retro, so.
Yeah, and I didn't really even realize that Rare wasn't involved with it. I thought they were.
Retro, you mean?
What'd I say?
Rare.
Yeah, Retro.
It's an easy mistake.
Yeah, I don't think Rare's been involved for quite a long time.
Yeah, no, it's easy. One of those names, like when you're looking for that, it's close enough.
Close enough.
Yeah, close enough that your mind just goes for one or the other. I've definitely done that a few times. But I will say I definitely have a vested interest in it taking a while to develop, because we did a bet on who could guess the closest to the release date. I can't remember if it was a closest without going over thing, but we did a release date bet, and I jokingly guessed April 4th, 2024, because Metroid Prime 4. I have a much better chance now. And like 90% of the other people are just out of the running. Is that Marmal?
Funny.
Yeah. You can unmute, but I'm not gonna.
Better late than never, I guess.
I have confirmation. Michael? Is that Marmal?
I think he might have his mic muted.
Yeah, you're muted. You need to unmute. Confirm in chat if you are Marmal. We've had issues in the past, so I want to make absolutely sure before giving permissions. Okay. And now this thing is in my way. Okay, hey Marmal, you need to unmute yourself.
See if I'm out. There we are. Here we are. I'm in.
Yep. Hey, how's it going?
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Sorry about the cautiousness.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Got to be in
trying
this
to figure
day and
out.
age. People are crazy.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And nuts.
Don't want another nipple clamp situation. That happened.
Boy.
Yeah, there's a reason security's in place because we didn't have it previously.
Like, I don't know how to respond to that.
That is.
So how's it going?
No. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Not bad at all. Just, another day.
Yeah. Do you have anything to add to the Metroid Prime 4 discussion?
Honestly, I have not played any of the Metroid Primes. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, definitely. It wasn't due to not lack. No, it wasn't due to not having a GameCube or anything. I just never got one of them.
Yeah, never got to it.
Around to Metroid Prime.
Yeah. They're probably hoping they release that Switch trilogy at some point.
Oh yeah, I mean nowadays it seems to be the thing. Like,
yeah,
might as well just wait.
Yeah, and it's been so long since we've had one. There are definitely going to be more people than not that just have a Switch and have never touched those games that would like to try them beforehand.
Oh, yeah.
Without having to go through the trouble of going and getting a GameCube and the old copies of the games and potentially paying too much and just all the pain in the ass. And you'd have to get a Wii, or you could just get a Wii and it would work on both. Either way. But an advantage to having the trilogy on Switch, though, that I didn't even think of until a little while ago, is that you could get a version of 3 that has regular controls, non-motion. Which that's the only way you can play it.
3 was the other M one, right?
No.
3 was other M, right?
Other M is the one that came out after. It's not a Prime game.
Yeah, the one where you had to sit there and you'd tilt the remote control and do different.
Yeah, where it's like it's
okay,
like third person most of the time, and then you have to do the first person perspective to like do switches. I don't freaking know.
I don't remember. I didn't play it very long. I wasn't. That's not what I was looking for. Maybe I should go back and try it now that I know it's like, oh, okay, this is what I'm in for.
Yeah, but if they release that and it's got like motion or regular, that would be great because I know a lot of people liked the motion for the trilogy and for 3, like because in the trilogy collection on Wii they added it to the previous 2. I know there are people that really liked that, and there are people that did not play 3 because they hated that. So it would be a good thing for both groups to kind of just get in and play how they want.
Yeah, well, having the option is always, I think, nice because then you can just do whatever you want.
And it would be in HD for the first time. Yeah, it's been that long. Those games are that old.
Wow. Although, have you gone back and tried to play any of the Metroid Primes on a GameCube controller?
I played them a few years ago that way, and it was pretty decent. You would think to look at it that it would be a pain in the ass, but it's actually very well set up, actually.
It is. It's just if you're used to the what is it? The C stick is your is it the weapon or the visor? I forget which. That's not how you
Yeah.
look. That's what you're used to. So I was sitting there switching weapons while I was trying to change my view, and
Yeah, to try and look around. Yeah, it's closer to, like, it's a good thing they call it the C stick, because they have an excuse, because it functions more like the C buttons on N64.
Yep.
But it is hard to get around at first when you're used to regular first-person controls. Maybe they could do a regular first-person setup as well, with like you hold one of the shoulder buttons and it pops up the options like other games do.
Yeah. That would make it a little bit easier.
The Wii U release, wasn't that just a digital port of the Wii trilogy?
I'm not too sure on that one.
I don't know. I picked it up because it was. I think when it launched, they were like, "Oh yeah, it's only $10." Like, oh yeah, for that price, I'll pick up the trilogy. And
Yeah, absolutely.
There is one kind of, I guess, drawback to the not knowing what they're going to bring out next onto the Switch, and that was Crystal Chronicles.
Oh.
I literally picked up Crystal Chronicles on the GameCube the day before Nintendo announced that they were bringing it out on the Switch.
Okay, so from a single comment on a random old message board, this is the most research I could possibly do for this topic. Apparently, Metroid Prime Trilogy was for native 480p upscaled to 1080p on Wii U. Apparently, that was like what they did for all Wii games on Wii U. I have no idea if that's absolutely correct, but that's the first thing I found when I looked it up.
Yeah. That sounds like something they would do.
Yeah.
What can we put out with the least amount of effort?
I mean, hey, that was an expensive game, so in terms of physical copies, it was an expensive game to track down. And a limited kind of print run until they did the whole GameStop thing where they were still charging what it was going on eBay. That was a weird time. That was a weird time.
That is one thing that still has me is I was in the GameStop last week and just browsing around and I saw they still had a DS game cabinet. And some of the DS games were still priced like $30 to $35. And I was like, what are we doing? How are these things? How?
The answer for anything when you walk into GameStop and you're like, what? How? Why? GameStop.
Yeah. It was like
worst place
to go to buy Pokemon Gold? It was Pokemon Heart Gold and I think it was Diamond as well. They were both like $40 each.
Were they encrusted with gold and diamonds?
Well,
I don't know.
Nintendo games very rarely drop in price, so I don't think that's necessarily on GameStop for that one. And it all comes down to like the corporate end. They have to like approve discounts, and they just get the information forwarded to them. The people in the store have no control over that.
Yeah,
I found that out when I found a copy of it was Rogue Galaxy on PS2. Like when they were still phasing PS2 out, like years later too, years after they had like officially phased them out, but they still had some in the store. It was priced at like $50. I'm just like, can we do anything here? Because I've been looking for this game, but I'm not paying $50. And I was like, there's nothing we can do. Sorry.
We'd like to.
We'd love to. We wanted to get out of our store.
Yeah, that was a fun time when they were transitioning stuff out too. Because I asked like, hey, do you have any older games behind the desk or something? And they did. They pulled out this tray of like N64, Game Boy stuff, and PlayStation 1 games. And this was after 2010. I don't remember when in the decade, but it was this decade. And I bought a PS1 game at EB Games in the current decade. It was weird.
Do you have any door stops around? Like anything you guys use as door stops? Like,
I saw a store use a bricked Xbox 360 as a doorstop once.
There we go.
It's heavy enough.
Not EB or GameStop, but like just a local store.
I'd need more flair to it.
Yeah, it was funny. It was game deals, and I was at the Vancouver Retro Gaming Expo. It was just like you walk down the street in New Westminster, and it's just like you see this door propped open with the Xbox. Like, oh, there's the store.
That must be it.
Yep. They must have the video games.
I don't know. I just I hate that it's hard to find the local mom and pop stuff, or even the businesses that start to get build up and sell retro games and get big, because then GameStop just buys them out.
Yeah. I wish I had a second local place here. I'm not near Game Deals. I'm like an hour or two out from there. So I've got one local game store here, and they are awful. They're awful. They do not care, and they just price things at whatever. And not in a good way. Like, sometimes they'll screw up. Like, I had a friend find a copy of Klonoa 2 Immaculate for $3 because they thought it was just some random cheapo platformer.
There you go.
But then it's like, you ask how much Ninja Gaiden 3 is, and you can see the reflection of eBay in their glasses, and it's just like $75. Like, okay, see you later.
Yeah.
It's like, it's in your cabinet. You have had this for a while, and you don't know what price it is.
And no one's gonna buy it.
Yeah.
I don't even think I have a local game store near me. Like,
Outside of a GameStop.
really thinking about it. Apart from the GameStop, but that's like pretty much the basis of like the companies near me are kind of like, it's kind of like a racket because they're always going to have a captured audience here. So like, regardless, they could sell things for ridiculous amounts of money and they still, people are going to buy it just because they have nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, outside of the gate, I mean, I really haven't like tried to go out and hunt. Like, I've seen a couple signs out, like it's a sign, it's a game store, but I look at it and it really doesn't look like it's actually a game store. It looks like something they just throw on the sign to be like, come look at us. This is a buzzword.
Yeah,
Game, comics.
The strangest experience I had for finding games at just like going to a store for games, I'll just put it that way just because the general term, is I was looking through Craigslist like one time in like the 10 times I've ever checked Craigslist, and I saw an ad for in town. A store was just, they had stuff. They weren't a game store, but they had stuff in like the back. So I went there, and it's a coin and hobby shop with so it's like model cars and old coins, and they had just boxes of video games in the back. Because like apparently like people that bring in like old coins and stuff, they're just looking to get rid of any kind of crap they can, so they just leave games there. It's like, we're not a game store. It's like, don't care, take it. They just have like all these games.
We're not a game
movies.
store. We just keep acquiring things.
Yeah.
People just dropping stuff off.
Yeah, essentially. It was the weirdest thing. But they were friendly, and I got a bunch of good deals from them, so it worked out. I got a free copy of Metroid Prime from them, actually. And then this reminded me of that. So yeah, Ryan Michael is Marmal. So yeah, where was I? Yeah, I got a free copy of loose disc Metroid Prime at a coin and hobby shop that fell out of a copy of Shrek 2. No joke. Actually, I can't remember if I got it for free or I gave him $2. I kind of felt bad taking it for free. Either way. Point is, I then take it to the crappy game store and say, what do you give me for this? And they've got a cheap GameCube game on the shelf, and it's like, I don't remember what they threw out for price, and it's like, well, would you just do trade for like this and $2? I think that's where the $2 came from. And they said, sure. And I will grab out what I got, because it's hilarious. And this was all in the course of the same day. It was a friggin' strange day. But I got a complete copy of Killer 7.
Nice.
Out of that. Yeah, it's just like, went to a coin coined a hobby shop, found a free copy of Metroid Prime in a Shrek game case, went to the other store, traded it for Killer 7. That and $2 for Killer 7. It was madness. Didn't mean to go on that much of a brag for that, but it was an odd friggin' just led me down memory lane.
Let's see if I can pull
Whatever that was supposed to be. Oh. Anyone else have stories or anything else they'd like to discuss?
I'm trying to think about decent finds.
I went to Goodwill on Friday. Found a couple things. Surprisingly.
Let's see. Oh, I had one of the strategy guides I ordered canceled.
Okay, update. Didn't get thing.
Update. eBay seller cancels order. Sends hilarious message. Let's go look at the message.
I should have a big box coming in, but they didn't provide a tracking number for it, so that's always irritating. It's like, did they actually ship it?
Yeah.
Am I expecting to get nothing? Possibly.
Anyway, do you guys want to laugh a little bit?
Sure, don't call out the name of the seller, but read the
I
message.
will. Dia, my name. DEA, my name on eBay. I lost this item and last 3 days ago. I find this item in my warehouse and I can't find. So sorry about inconvenience. Full refund to your account now. Sincerely, seller name.
Okay.
Interesting.
Why do I picture like the warehouse from Indiana Jones and like just like, oh, where'd it go?
Oh, we lost the Ark of the Covenant. Dang.
This is me thinking that they're like, oh no, I sell too cheap. Me say lose item.
Probably want to lay off.
realist.
Probably want to lay off the accents there, but still.
My bad.
Ugh.
I can't help it with that one.
Yeah, you can. But
I'm sorry. When it's typed like that, I can't help it.
okay.
That from the name of the seller, it was obviously a Chinese seller. So not that makes it any better.
That's not even where I thought you were going with that. But
No, they're obviously like it's Chinglish.
I'm not
sorry.
Sure it's getting better.
I know. I'm digging a hole.
yeah, you're making it worse.
Good.
Ugh.
So, how about the bears?
Yeah.
There's bears.
Stop
I don't
bears.
see any bears.
Stop bears. Stop bears. Stop bears.
That's okay.
Or is that
Ditka.
that stuff before y'all's time?
That was a skit on. Was that Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't thought about it for a while, but I knew what you were referring to.
Ooh.
Here comes a new challenger. Hey, Eric.
Yeah.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah.
I need to unmute.
Gone.
Oh.
Do 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 do.
Dork, 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 dork. Oh. It's been a while since I watched Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Guess Guess Eric's not unmuting his microphone, so okay, moving on.
Hello?
Hey,
What's up?
not much.
You guys waiting for me or something?
Yeah, you join and just late and nothing.
Oh, I couldn't hear anything, so I was going through my
Okay.
usual routine of technical issues. This time, the volume was just turned all the way down.
That'll do it.
Yep.
Half the time, it doesn't pick this headset. It goes to some speaker system I haven't owned in 5 years.
Yeah.
This time, it was just the volume was down.
Yeah, the options are turned up to 11 or not turned up at all.
You
Correct.
gotta love how the engineers are the ones that have the most technical problems.
Dude,
Yep.
every week I join this thing, and every week I have to reconfigure it. I don't know what's going on with my computer.
No, it's just a common thread I've noticed. The engineers are the ones that just always have all the technical problems, and then the non-engineering or non-technical people have none.
What's going
It's
on?
because they made it idiot-proof, not engineer-proof.
Yeah. We
Well, it's
got,
probably because the engineers wanted to do stuff it wasn't intended to do.
Hmm.
Because we actually took the marketing claims at face value and then like face palmed as we went, oh, they're lying to us.
You don't think they added it in the safety factor, huh?
What happened?
Nothing. We all just
Nobody-
ran out of
no-
stuff to talk about at the
Everybody
same
ran
time.
I'm sorry, Michael. I don't think we've met before.
I don't think we have either.
Are
Except
you?
on
Are you
I
on
am
Twitter?
Marmal, yeah.
Oh, Marmal. Oh,
Yes.
how are you?
Yes. I am doing well. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm Eric. I don't know if it says that on my window or not.
Yes,
Or does it say Mighty?
it says Eric, so
Okay. What does it say when I join?
Eric.
Okay.
It's why I had to ask Michael if he was Marmal for like a minute and a half before I let him into the call.
Yeah, I missed that.
Oh yeah, and that whole minute and a half of me trying to find out how to unmute my mic, where the chat went because
Yeah,
it
there you go.
disappeared, and I was like, where'd it go?
All
Yeah,
the
see?
things went wrong.
Technical problem.
Which then I was more of a moron because you were like, "Are you Marmal?" And I was like, yes, I am. I am.
Buttons.
Maybe Mike is working. I don't know."
You could have been like, yes,
Yeah.
thumbs up.
Nope. did not do it.
Yep. No, just mash the keyboard until it works.
Exactly. Something will work. Let me look at these things. Oh, that says chat.
Did you unplug it and plug it back in?
Have you tried turning it
Oh,
on
it
and
was
off
good.
again?
Hey, man, it could be like my printer, which now refuses to scan anything, which is very inconvenient because I went to scan something from a book today and it's like, computer to scan to not found. Please check to see if software is installed. The software is installed.
Does your printer
Yeah.
have an equipped scanner? Because that might be your problem.
It does.
Okay. Just want to make sure. My
I have
printer's
a
not
printer
scanning anything.
that
Does it
works
have
kind
a
of the
scanner
same
in it?
thing.
And I'm
Got a
sitting here going,
printer that I have to sit there with, and I'll hit print, and I'll listen, and I don't hear my printer go off, and I have to stare at it sometimes and be like, "You awake? Are you gonna work?" Comes a little thing that says USB. I've tried to Google that, and nothing comes up about USB apart from they say plug it in, and it's like it is plugged in. I don't know what it wants me to check. It just says USB, and then it'll print. It's just kind of like an honorary printer I have to scowl at every so often
Yeah.
when I realize it hasn't printed.
This is not
Oh.
the printer you were looking for.
Yeah.
Hey, Andre Retro's in the chat. How's it going, man? Been a while.
No.
And now we wait the customary 30 seconds for the video to catch up.
Yep.
it's par for the course.
We lost Eric.
Yeah, he up and went. Oh, nice. Got twins on the way.
Oh wow! Congratulations.
Nice.
So that's a no on joining the call then, I'm assuming.
Well, hopefully they're not on the way right now. This very second, I mean.
Yeah.
NJ Retro's having twins?
Yeah, apparently.
Congratulations. Now, he just had a baby about a year ago, right?
I don't remember how exactly long ago that was, but that's why he hasn't been on, so it's going to be another while yet, I guess.
It's going to be a busy household.
Wow. Yeah.
Weeks.
Yeah,
3 kids under 3 years old. Woo!
Yeah, talk about doubling down. Jesus.
Yeah.
Figured out the code. Duplicate.
I shall call them Mini-Me.
I'm going to pull an Eric and step away for a moment. Right back.
Yeah.
Ew.
Oh, man.
What's going on with you guys?
Love writing papers. Trying to finish homework, which is oof.
Trying to do two things at once then.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least this is like the homework at least enjoyable. I don't mind it. It's just blabbing about lore, so that ain't too bad.
It's okay. You could have my homework. You could have my homework.
Yeah. Lab, anything with a lab is nah.
Let me load up what I typed up today.
Oh God, he started with the school stuff again.
Yeah.
I step away for 10 seconds.
It won't be that bad. I promise. I'm just gonna do a quick once over what's in this thing. Sorry.
Your eyes are already glazing over. What do you think that's going to do for us?
Okay, so I had to type up all this crap today.
Whoa, looks fun.
It's not fun. Because this professor's like, you put picture, you put arrows, you put things saying what obvious thing is. Basically, I have to write this so I can hand this report to any of you and you can duplicate it.
Huh.
I'm not happy about it.
I assume not.
Yeah. Kind of looks like what I had to do for my training for a truck. Ugh. Yeah. That ain't fun.
Yes, I have to write this so that I can hand it to anyone here except for Eric because he'd know what the heck I'm talking about. And they'd have to understand it. Oh, poor Eric. He missed my lab report.
Yes, poor Eric, indeed.
Yeah. Sorry, I was looking for something.
That was timed.
Yeah. Occasionally peeking in. Nope, lab report's still up.
Nope, it's gone.
But it's not forgotten.
No, I have to send it off to my partner to make him do all of the, because what you don't see is I got to have a title page. I got to have a table of contents. I got to have a table of figures. I got to have a table of tables. There's a whole 18 questions to answer.
Yeah.
Someone's got to draw a schematic for this thing, even though there's clearly a schematic right here. Yeah. I can't wait to be done with this class already. I have 10 more of these to type up.
Oh, God. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. The thing that gets me in these classes nowadays are the participation stuff. Like, if you're doing online, it's crazy. Like, how am I supposed to participate? And they're like, oh, post in a forum. Okay, cool. But it's algebra. Like, how am I going to comment on 3 people's posts in algebra? But good job, you numbered good? Like, what are we gonna do?
You basically comment and say, "Hey, you screwed up this equation. Try again."
Well, that's the thing. It's also a bunch of basic math that it's like, here's the question, and we're all doing the same question too. So it's like, oh man, look, I got those numbers too.
That's exactly what they want. That's what they want.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you do.
And, yeah, but God forbid you don't post 3 times in like 4 days or something. Like,
oh,
and
that's
comment
how you get at
4
me.
different people. Yeah, exactly. Like, nope.
Hey, Chris.
Hello.
How's it going?
Hey.
All right.
Hello.
So, you know that
Hello.
bass I had last week? I found out over the last week that the neck needs shimmed. It probably needs some fret work because the frets are really low. The truss rod's screwed up. But luckily, I found myself a luthier. So I'm just going to be like, hey, man, you take this. You take my crappy old guitar that I no longer want.
How old
You
is
fix.
it?
It's a 1970s vintage violin bass.
Oh, well, it's not surprising it needs so much work then.
Now I know why it was so cheap.
Probably need to put a couple $100 of luthier work into it.
He's going to probably give me a deal.
Okay.
Hopefully. Because it's a friend of a friend, so.
Because I actually had a Hofner knockoff, and my dad ruined it by over tightening the truss rod and cracked the fretboard right off the neck.
Oof.
Yeah, you
That's
don't
not good.
do that when the strings are at full tension. Let me guess. He adjusted it with the strings at full tension, didn't he?
No. No.
So he like shattered the neck, basically.
Yeah, it basically separated the 2 pieces of wood.
That's fixable, but you're gonna need some glue
It wasn't worth it. It was like a couple $100.
to get it fixed.
No, just the value of the bass guitar wasn't worth doing. So then he felt bad and bought me a much nicer bass.
As you
It's
do.
okay. I'm more of a guitar guy than a bass guy, so
I mean, he's bass guy, so
I
that's
know.
taken.
We just need a
Yes, I
drummer.
went for the easy joke.
Well, we just need a drummer now. Someone to beat on things.
Listen, I think Ryan has a drum set.
Yes, but can we convince Ryan to do like good music?
What?
Indeed.
Oh.
Oh, man. Hmm.
Well, in other news, I learned how to play some rock and roll music last week.
The rock and or roll.
No, rock and roll music. You know, Chuck Berry.
Oh,
Huh?
Mega Man?
Should have seen this coming.
Like the timing on that, Marble?
Yep.
Actually, yeah, that would be a good one to do. It's like we're gonna play Mega Man songs, and then you start playing rock and roll music.
Start breaking out some Rush.
Oh no, no! That Rush guitar is ridiculous. I got stuck at Bagfest playing Rocksmith for like I can't remember the name of the song. 1 second. It was a Rush song. The guitar was ridiculous.
What, they make you play like YYZ or something?
No. Spirit of the
AJ
Radio.
Retro, nothing goes
I'm about to say
nothing goes
Spirit of
over
the Radio?
Yoshi's head. He's too fast. He would catch it.
The Spirit of the Radio. Which is like,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm just like, how are you supposed to play this?
Practice Padawan.
Everything goes over my head.
Yep. That's why that joke's funny. You don't even know what it's from.
I know, right?
Anyway.
Moving right along. Dug-a-dong, dug-a-dong.
I guess we could do pickups if anyone's got them.
I've got a couple.
Yeah, I don't have anything this week. Anyone else
And
have
actually, I'm
anything?
gonna have to head out in a bit, anyways, because I gotta help the missus get out to work. So I'll go really quick.
Okay.
So, inspired by Musty's finds last week at Goodwill, I was like, you know what? I haven't gone to Goodwill in a bit, so I'm gonna go hit it up. So I got, that's bad glare. All 3 Lord of the Rings for the Xbox.
Oh, very nice.
Nice.
2 out of 3
Oh,
of those
nice.
are good games.
I was about to say that.
Complete in box for $3.03.
Of course,
Skip
the
the
one of
one-
those
Oh,
that
wow.
isn't good is the one I have.
Skip Fellowship. Play the other 2.
If I ever get around to it. But I also picked up
Nice.
PlayStation controller. I almost left it on the shelf. But I was like, because I don't do a lot of PlayStation stuff in general. But so got that. It had a nice big sticker on it, and someone told me that if you use a hairdryer on the sticker, it can help pull it off, and it did. It was awesome. Cleaned up really good.
Actually.
But that's it. Other than a friend was down in Florida and called me and said, hey, they've got a bunch of baseball cards, and so they had some complete sealed boxes, 36 packs for $5. So I picked up some old from when I was collecting in '89 and early '90s baseball cards just for nostalgia. But I don't have those with me.
Did you get any kind of card in the Fellowship of the Rings game?
It's time to go.
Because mine came with this Gandalf staff card out of nowhere. I have no idea if it was actually included with the game. I assume so, originally.
There's nothing in here, but this manual feels weird too.
Anyway.
But that's it for me. I gotta head out and see the missus off.
All right.
I'll
Take care,
catch you
man.
guys later.
Yeah,
Have
see
a
ya.
good
Good
evening.
night.
Yep.
Button. Where's the button? There it is.
Yeah. I probably can't stay that much longer. I have to go watch an hour of freaking stupid YouTube videos.
That's usually how that goes.
Yeah, that's about normal.
No, it's for a class because one of my professors is like, here's a to-do list before Wednesday. Please watch the first video to watch is blah blah debounce function blah 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 blah. Watch 4 minutes to 19 minutes. Okay, that's 15 minutes. Pay attention to 10:50. And then he's like, here's another video, and here's a third video, and here's 2 more videos on oscilloscope triggering. I know how to trigger oscilloscopes.
Refer back to a previous joke about Yoshi not getting jokes. Anyway, hero collectors in the chat.
Hey. Yeah. No.
You should know I never get jokes. Ever.
I know. That was the previous joke.
Good. We've gone over this.
Mm-hmm.
Or the wood for the tire.
So we're just gonna click on. Okay, at
Yeah,
least that
it's
one's
really
only
been
4
about-
videos.
Moving
That's
on.
really it.
Anyway, Marmal, were you saying something?
Yeah, but the only thing I've picked up recently has been a tire and some wood
Oh,
to put into the tire. That's really it.
And a squat rack.
Not so much gaming.
And a squat rack.
Oh, well, that was a project in the making. That was months. But yeah, no, that tire was recently driving around Post and just random tire, and I was like, that's mine. I can fit that in my car. Got the wood, finished it off, so yay. I now have this horrible sled that I've come up with, made of toe straps and old tire.
Actually, Retrolectors in the chat joining the chat reminded me of Frantic's Josh's tweet the other day of what constitutes how old a game has to be before it's retro, and he was doing a poll on that. But Retrolectors mentioned something about I don't remember exactly what he said about the doing comic book ages, like the Silver Age, Golden Age, and all that. And I thought about that, and I think if we were going by comic book kind of terminology, I think we kind of basically just entered the modern age with the PS3, Xbox 360 generation. Maybe that's around equivalent. Because pre-superhero and comics would kind of go along with early video games in the arcade era, and then the boom of arcades up until early consoles would be Golden Age. And then NES would be silver. Or 8-bit would be silver. 16-bit would be bronze. The PS1 kind of era might be the Dark Age, kind of where in the mid 80s, early 90s comics where everything was just dark, where two great comics came out and ruined comics forever. Thank you, Watchmen and Dark Knight Returns. Everyone took the lessons of make shit dark. That's why those were good. Those will sell.
Oh man, how long? How long to be considered retro?
Maybe I'll try and pull up the tweet for reference.
Trying to think.
Nope, that went right to his Twitter profile. I want the tweet, thank you. Yeah,
I think I have a skewed idea.
Yeah, I'll present this just to show the original tweet. Yeah, you put up the option of 10 years, 15 years, 20, or 25 plus for that.
See, 25 plus is just a bit laughable.
Yeah,
almost.
That's video games have almost been around for that amount of time.
Yeah.
Haven't been around much longer than that. I mean, I guess the earliest video games were in the 50s. I don't know when Space War happened. But that's proto video games, kind of. Yeah, Retrolectors says the sweet spot for retro is 10 to 15 years, and I would tend to agree. Ryan says 10.
Yeah, as much as I'd hate to admit it.
Yeah, because we all kind of want to shy away from admitting stuff that came out when we were kids as retro, or
exactly,
or when we were teenagers, or considering Kingdom Hearts 2 as retro would be a little bit of a sting. But it kind of is. Yeah, we just got 3, and 2 is retro.
See now,
so about 3 generations ago.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I'd probably consider retro being NES, maybe creeping into the SNES, maybe. Like, but like I wouldn't really consider like the N64 and the Sega being retro. Like,
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
No, that's. Yeah.
In terms of the era, because it's just, like, you kind of have to look at it more like eras, where like there are clear divides for video games. Where I use kind of like the comics stuff just as a guide, just for a reference point, to see if I could equate that equivalent for comics. And it's like going by for games. I mean, going by superhero comic history, because that's kind of like the main thing that was popular. So. Miles says 3 years. That's the hot take.
Yeah, 3 years.
Yeah, freaking what would that be?
Last of Us Ancient.
Yeah, Last of Us is ancient. The PS4 is already retro within its own life cycle.
I think once you can play a game and it doesn't hold up, I think that's because there's still some games that are back.
Okay,
that are like
Knack is retro then, confirmed.
Oh, that's like when you can play a game it just doesn't hold up like at all, just not even an ounce of it, then maybe that one should just, or it just might be a crap game. I don't know.
Yeah, I was just giving some crap to Knack because it was easy. But yeah, that's why I said, like, with making the comics comparison. Modern age, because kind of like when stuff kind of gels into what it kind of is going forward. And I would say we would have entered that kind of early, mid into PS3 generation, because sorry, I'm getting distracted by the background noise with but I mean, I completely lost my train of thought. Yeah, there are definite like kind of eras for that. PS2 era, they really over-explained in tutorials. It was like, that was the tutorial era, where it's just like, here's how to walk forward. Now let us stop you to tell you how to look around. God damn it, video game! Like, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon made fun of this, but also did the thing where it's like,
hysterical.
Where you,
I love that.
Where you're trying to do satire, but you accidentally just do the thing. Where like, the dialogue's funny, but you're still putting people through the exact same garbage.
Yeah, I think that was actually a good way to cover it up, though.
Cover what up?
I
oh yeah.
Cover up a basic tutorial like that by making it so satired. I was like, okay,
yeah, but
I can get along with it, but maybe it is useful for some people.
Yeah, my thing with that era was like, that's when you go back to a game and it doesn't hold up, is when you get hit with that tutorial.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, go back and play the original Max Payne. Ugh, that first level. Yeah. I think they put the tutorial separately, so that might be an exception. But like, you do a tutorial level and then you go into the base game. But woof.
See, that I don't mind, when some games had put the tutorial in like an optional thing.
Yeah.
Like it was start game and then tutorial was above it. Like, that was excusable.
Yeah, like asking you, would you like to run through the tutorial?
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of over tutorializing, I played the Anthem beta over the weekend. I completely forgot about that one, bringing up news. I don't think anyone else but me has played it, but hell, I barely played it.
Well, you were actually able to get into it.
Yeah, maybe twice. I think over the 3 days, I played a grand total of an hour. I got to play the back half of the first mission, because that's how matchmaking works. And the first 10-15 minutes of the second mission with heavy rubber banding. That was not fantastic. But what I did get to engage with heavily was the loading screens. And when you open every menu and they desperately try to teach you how to navigate a pause screen, Jesus. Every single tab you open, and I will say, they said it's They didn't say it was a 6-week-old build, but I think that's the equivalent. But they said it's not exactly analogous to what the final product will be. I hope they change that element. I can't imagine why you would leave that in 6 weeks out from development. But it's like every single tab you scroll over, you open the pause menu. Here's how the pause menu works. You scroll down an option. Here's how this menu works. And it's like, Jesus Christ, I can read the words.
See, now that would only be helpful if it's like a confusing thing. If it isn't straightforward, like if they had stuff like crafting in this part, like you had to go through this sub thing to go craft something. All right, fine, yeah, please explain that to me, because if that's not obvious, I'm going to go through the entire game and not craft a damn thing.
Yeah, the funny thing is they over-explain the hell out of the pause menu. It's like, okay, we have no confidence in our audience's ability to comprehend words on the screen, so we're going to make sure menus are absolutely clear. But here's an Iron Man suit. Good luck. Figure it out. They don't tell you how to use the armor.
Like, everyone just wants to dance anyway.
Yeah, here's a thing that you can fly through the stratosphere in, and some heavy weaponry. Figure it out. But you know how the pause screen works. So you know how to quit when you get frustrated.
Yeah, exactly. This is where the exit is.
Not to rag on that game too much, because that was a lot of server issues and login stuff. Apparently it was wider than just Anthem. Apparently they were having that in like FIFA and everything. All the problems just hit as soon as they turned those servers on for some reason. They had been testing for months, apparently, but just like once they put it out there, a whole bunch of stuff they couldn't have predicted hit them. So that's an unfortunate scenario. Hopefully it goes better for them this weekend, and it actually ends up being a fun jam. But as for now, with my other experiences with it, oh my god, is the customization of your armor a little too much. Because it took me like 10 minutes to figure out, this is me being partially just unobservant on my part, but it took me 10 minutes to figure out how to actually change the color on any given piece of my armor. Because they give you like the standard options, and then you don't realize what you're changing isn't the color, it's the fabric and material. And you have to hit right on each individual piece to select color.
Oh, jeez.
And here's a just general video game thing that annoys me. Warframe does this too, I've got that up. But they do this too with the color wheels. They give you colorblind options, but when you go to the customization menu to change the colors on things, they don't label the freaking colors. That would be helpful. Telling between shades is kind of my issue. But they'll tell you what kind of fucking metal you're changing the fabric to. Irk. Video games. Sorry, this is the place I rant, apparently.
I did have that kind of experience with that. We had an old tube TV, and the color guns went out in it. And here I am trying to play, what was it? It was NCAA 07 or 04, I think. It was 04. It was NCAA 04. And it was like, create your team, create your school. And I was like, all right, cool. And they were like, uniform colors? And I was like, I can't tell the difference between them. And that was my experience with, I was like, games need to sort this. Yeah. That needs to be an option for this. Turned out they were hot pink and lime green. When the color guns came back.
Yeah, I'm just red-green colorblind, so it's just like the shades, like that kind of stuff. Like especially like greens and yellows, that just is a problem. Like I could be making something hot pink and I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Same with my dad. He's got what is it? It's just gray and blue, I think it is. Like that's like the scale that he's in. And
they actually have an option for that in Anthem, I think. So good on them.
Yeah. I was completely unaware of it until like someone pointed it out to me. And they're like, "Oh yeah," I think it was my grandmother. Like, "Yeah, your dad's colorblind." I was like, "What? He is?" It's like, "Yeah." It's like, his whole wardrobe is nothing but like one color, or at least that one like spectrum of colors, and it just clicked. I was like, you're right.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That is a thing. And then what was it? It was a what game was it? It was a matching dots. It was a timed matching dots. Match up all the colors, or at least string of colors together, and it gets rid of the screen or whatever, and it's timed. And I was like, it's what you got, it's just it's a quick, easy go around. He's like, all right, so what about the color? What about the dots you can't see? And I was like, you're right. I think there's an option for that.
Yeah, I've had several video games where I just had to kind of opt out because they didn't have a colorblind option, and it was just, I'll just say it and it'll make total sense. Metal Gear Solid 3. Yeah, the camouflage is working real well. I can't tell anything apart.
Yeah, everything's good, man.
Yeah, it's just like, I didn't know there was a crocodile there. Yeah, it's like,
oh yeah, got it.
Metal Gear Solid 3 eaten by crocodiles. That was the game I played.
Croc prey.
Yeah, because it's like, I can't see them. I don't know where they're coming from. Ugh.
I do have to say, you're not the only one that wandered into gators quite often. And
yeah, I know, but
I should have been able to see him, but I wandered straight.
Yeah, it's just worse for me because like it's all different shades of green. I can't do it. Oh. No, what was the other one? This may have only been the case in the demo because that's what I played of it, but the game Folklore on PS3. It has a timing meter for your attacks, and the indicator colors are red and green. You have to watch for the change between those two colors. Yeah, I didn't play that one.
Most expensive thing I've broken.
Yeah, Miles in the chat is asking what is the most expensive thing we've broken.
I wrecked a car.
Yeah, that'll do it. I don't think we can top that one.
Yeah. Let's see.
I can't think of anything significant for me, fortunately. But well, at least not accidentally. I think I've broken a few things intentionally that were probably a little expensive. Well, I'll explain that one in a second, but just
yeah, I'm trying to think something that's not work related.
Yeah, maybe I blocked something out, but I can't think of anything significant. But just a funny anecdote for breaking something intentionally. When I moved out of my previous house, it was just the childhood home thing, and like my grandma or whatever. It was the generation of like doing all like the 70s colors and everything. So it's like the green toxic carpeting and all that, and like floral couches and such, just to set the scene. And the coffee table, I shit you not, was the exact same coffee table as you see in the living room on that 70s show.
Wow.
It was the exact same coffee table, and let me tell you, I hated that thing because it's all sharp corners and you just hit your knees on it constantly. So when I moved out, I didn't care how much I could get for the thing. I threw that thing over the deck because it was catharsis time.
Try and think. Most expensive thing that I've broken is up. I mean, it's only work related stuff. Like, I don't think I've ever broken anything of personal own that's been like crazy expensive. Like, I don't know. Personally, it was my DS, I guess. And that's because DSs in concrete don't get on very well. Especially when they're like 4 feet off the ground.
EA broke their servers last weekend. I'm sure that was expensive.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Zing.
Trying to think. No, just a truck. Really, that's all. A truck and a water buffalo. That's really it. Yeah. That would be the most expensive thing I broke. But wasn't really my fault. That was crap equipment. Crap equipment and the Mojave Desert. Just don't bring those things together.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like it would mix.
No.
Anyway, hey Ryan. You have any expensive shit you broke?
Maybe some computer parts, but that's about it. And it wasn't mine, so. And it was already broken, so, you know, it's just unfixable then after I got done with it, so. But expensive?
Oh, no.
I can't think of anything offhand. So if you have any more, go right ahead. I can't think of anything of mine personally that was expensive. I broke a lot of cheap crap, but
that's usually why it breaks.
Let's see. No, Milo, I didn't hit a water buffalo with a truck. Should probably elaborate on that one. Water buffalo is a giant trailer that just holds water that we tow around. Yeah,
I figured it was just
sounds a lot more exciting.
Yeah, I figured it was just a name for a thing, but I wasn't gonna just ask because that raised an eyebrow or two.
It's we come up with cool names for things, and it's really not cool.
I love it when you go to look up a thing and you go to start typing, you realize you've completely forgotten what you were going to look up that you thought of 10 seconds ago. I opened a tab, went to type, and I'm like, I forgot what I was going to look up.
Yeah. Although the damage that was done to the truck and the water buffalo was actually pretty fun. It was actually pretty funny. No, screw it. If there's no one else got anything, I can go into how the Mojave Wasteland destroyed my truck.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah. So we occasionally go out to the Mojave Desert for training purposes, and because that's the fun place to go train. And the thing about the Mojave is that it sucks when it comes to its land. There's craters everywhere. There's just sand and dirt for miles around.
It's everywhere.
Oh yeah, it's awful. It's awful. And they put me in the truck. My truck was. It's a 5-ton truck. It's a big beastie. Yeah, that thing is. They call it an LMD. For those that are quick on Twitter or on Google or know what one is anyway. That's a big 5-ton truck that just literally just stole the good graces of carrying around a water buffalo, which is a trailer that carries 400 liters of water.
You froze there for a second, and I think it was appropriate because it sounded like you were about to say stalled, and it froze. You're fine, though. It was only for a second.
No. Yep. So, yeah, it stores about 400, might be gallons, might be liters. I think it's gallons. Yeah, I think it's 400 gallons of water in it. And we had the good graces of dragging that around. And, of course, we go to the Mojave for a month. We spend a week of literally prepping to go out into the desert. We spend 2 weeks into the desert, then we spend a week leaving the desert. Yeah. And right as we were leaving to go into the desert, we literally rolled out the gate into the desert, and the water buffalo's wheel locked up. It's an air brake. It's an air brake system, and yeah, valve broke on it. So we ended up having two choices. We either dragged the water buffalo for the entire time, or we just disconnected the air brakes and had it with no brakes. Which,
those both sound like great choices.
Exactly. So we went with no brakes because we're rebels. So really the only thing that this thing was relying on was it had a tow pintle and two chains that would attach it to the truck. And that was it. There was no brakes. It wouldn't. And for the first week, it worked well. Like, it was doing fine. And our mechanic, which was actually impressed, he was like, it should be really uncomfortable us not having air brakes, because every time we stop, this thing should be just like plowing into the back of us. But it's not, and it's actually a comfortable ride. And we're like, okay, cool. Well, then we hit a hill. And yeah, no, that hill is... We thought we could make it up it. Turns out we couldn't. And we're struggling to get up this hill. Just struggling. And we're trying not to dig in to the dirt, because that happened a couple days prior. We ended up getting stuck, which was hilarious. But we're trying to get up this hill, and we're struggling. And it was me, and it was the mechanic was sitting next to me, and then it was our commo guy was sitting in the passenger side. And we're all just like gritting our teeth, trying to just pray to get this thing up this hill. And we're like, come on, please! Oh, and the engine's roaring. And just like, it's just that little tiny moment when it all just goes, koosh, we shoot up the hill. And we're like, yes! We've got up the hill! We're all celebrating. We're happy we made it up this friggin' hill. And I look out the wing mirror, and I see the water buffalo just down the hill.
Oh, that's why we're
and
moving.
I go, oh shit! And I slam the emergency brake on. I'm like I'm putting all in the neutral, and I'm jumping out of the truck. And my commo guy's like, what's going on? And I'm like, we've lost the bloody buffalo! And I run down the hill after it, and it is literally just standing straight up, pintle right up in the air, just on its back. And we're like, well, this isn't the first time it's happened, so we know how to fix it. We reverse down the hill slowly. We pull out some, they weren't even tow cables. It was literally a ratchet strap. We threw it around the little tow pintle, and we lower it down. And as we lower it, it just hits the floor. And then we realized that the leg that it's supposed to stand on is crushed flat. Like, there's no handle. It's completely flat, flush with it. And we're like, oh, that's not good. It's like, what happened there? And then we look into the back of the truck, and there's a hole that looks like a T-Rex is just like gone through the back of my truck. We were like, oh, how did that happen? And we looked down, and we realized there's no chains anymore. Like, the chains are just gone. So with our quick sleuthing, we've managed to figure out that we went down the hill, and that's when the water buffalo decided, oh yeah, that's right, I don't have brakes, slammed into the back of our truck, which then undid the pintle. And what was stopping us from going up the hill was the chains. That was the only thing that water buffalo rode on by. It's just the chains. And us being able to get up that hill was when the chain snapped and tore a hole in the back of the truck. So here we are trying to fix this buffalo back onto the truck and then drive away like nothing happened. and that's when our platoon sergeant showed up, and he was like, "What's taking you guys so long?" And we're like, "Nothing, nothing at all. Don't worry about us."
Yeah, that's where you just go.
Yeah,
just
we're just
look
like,
over there, and that tells the tale.
Oh, and the funny thing is that no one really noticed. Like they didn't notice that we weren't leaving the water buffalo places. We always kept it attached to the truck, and that there was this giant hole in the back of it. No one really noticed, which was great because it was a borrowed truck. So
that's good then.
we had to turn it in when we were leaving. So part of that last week is like giving in everything you've borrowed and cleaning up everything and before you get buses and get out of there. And we pretty much like jumped out, threw the keys to someone and was like, go turn it in, guys. We'll see you later.
Yeah, it's like you take a rental car bag and it's like, yeah, just go to the car wash, buff out the dings, and they won't notice a thing.
Exactly. Oh, it was... We sat there, we just keep hearing reports of like, no, we're still stuck. We're still waiting on the mechanics to fix the buffalo and fix this. And we're just like, oh, whose buffalo was that? Man, that's bad. Hey, you wanna? Okay, cool. Like, well, although we weren't the worst one that wasn't the worst damage that happened on this excursion out the Mojave. So really, a hole in the back of the truck is like the least of their worries. Like,
yeah, got off easy on that one.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, no, there was a lot more people. One of them took a header off a cliff with the same truck that we were in, and ended up moving everything like 3 feet backwards on the truck. Just straight up, just. Poof.
I'll tell you, these sound like really reliable vehicles.
Oh, God. And that's the thing. Whenever you hear anything being like hoisted as like, this is military grade, I always sit there and go, nope. Nope.
Is that supposed to be impressive?
Oh yeah. It's like, ooh, you're dangerous when you are. Yeah, no, it's yeah, we ended up we flipped a howitzer that trip. And we had to have one airlifted out because we had we had scavenged all the parts off for it that it couldn't move. So we had to get it airlifted out. It was so fun. It's absolutely hilarious. But that's like, good old, let's all go run around in the desert. And it was at the same time as Fallout 4 was coming out. So it was actually releasing while we were in the box. That's what we call the desert. 2 weeks of no communications and no nothing. We literally have to rely on each other, and that's it. Oh yeah, we had Fallout 4 come out, and there was some kind of missile test as well that happened while we were out there, because there was just this big blue light that kind of like came up across the sky and just like burned for a little bit. It was some kind of missile test is what we found out. But of course, you shove about 80 dudes in a desert with no communication whatsoever. Craziness ensues.
Yeah, it's like telephone without the telephones.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We were calling up with the other platoons, like, hey, how are you doing? Like, what's going on over there? And it's like, we're in MOP 4, which is like full chemical gear, gas masks, protective covering, and we were like, the hell are you guys doing in that? Like, no one told you to do that. Like, oh, we saw that, we didn't know what it was. Oh yeah, hilarity ensued. There was UFOs, there was missiles, there was a plane maybe. Fantastic. Yeah, people get delusional in the desert. They really do. Although being in my position, I get to see kind of like where the snapping point was, which was hilarious. Because I was just supply. I run around, I give people stuff. Like, that's my gig. So wandering around with all the other guys that are like hardcore combat arms, we shoot the howitzers and stuff. Like they'd managed to convince themselves that they were going to get out quicker, even though we got told we're in here for 2 weeks. Like 3 days in, they were like, "We'll be out by Sunday." It's like, no, we're not. But you keep thinking that. But they truly snapped us when they were having a full-blown debate on whether or not blue M&Ms taste better than brown M&Ms. And yeah, that was really it. That's what I know. That's it. We've completely snapped.
Only the most interesting topics.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Anyway, hey Musty.
Run low on. Hey.
Hello.
Musty.
How are you?
Doing well.
That's good. Thank you for jumping in. Sorry I was so late to the party here.
Fine, the hangout was late as usual anyway.
Well, we try, right?
Yeah. Despite me putting the links up 15 minutes early.
Yeah.
I meant to put them up half an hour early, but I didn't get to it.
That's all right. It's my son's 5th birthday tomorrow, so he and we are getting the coldest weather that I've seen in years. So he was staying up. Did not want to go to sleep, so. Man, what are you using to clean there, Chris?
I thought I hit the mute button.
Using like 80 grit sandpaper or something? What are you doing?
Oh, put the hacksaw down and maybe.
Right.
You're not far off. You're not far off. It's a file.
Oh, jeez.
You use a file on your games to clean them?
No, I'm installing a HDMI.
Oh, phew.
HDMI card.
I've seen it once where someone did it. I was like, "What are you doing?" And I really seriously, it was like then. The guy was like, "I give these away when people buy the games," and I'm like, No. So I do have one game with little sandpaper or marks on it. Yeah. But whatever. It plays.
I do install a filing system. That's not what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
Most disappointing game. Might ask it in the chat.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, the Anthem beta was pretty disappointing over the weekend. That's an easy one, but I don't know if this would be a most disappointing, but it was the first game I really vividly remember rage quitting at was the PS2 version of the Iron Man movie game. Just because it was so infuriating. That was the first time that I had just experienced genuine rage at a video game.
That one I would not expect.
Yeah, it was like
movie tie-in title.
No, I know, but it's like even like as someone who enjoyed playing Batman Forever as a kid, Iron Man's the one that broke me. It was this one boss fight where you're flying around this stupid pillar thing. I don't remember exactly, but I don't remember who you're supposed to be fighting, but you're supposed to be rescuing Pepper from somewhere, and absolutely nothing was clear. I couldn't find her. I didn't know who I was fighting. I just kept flying on this freaking pillar, and nothing was happening, and I kept failing the mission. And it was like, I can't do it. Nothing's clear. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here. It broke me.
Most disappointing game for me has to be Homefront. That
Which one?
That one. Oh no, the first one.
Okay.
The first one. That one. Nope. I was so annoyed. I tried so hard as well. Like it was just, I was so hyped for it. I had pre-ordered it. I was just like, this is gonna be great. It's gonna be amazing. And then I played it and slowly grinding my way through it. Like, yay! This is fun. Why are we doing this? No. And then the ending, and I'm like, is there more? No, that's it? Oh, okay. No, it's good. It's got to be good. And then I was like, maybe the multiplayer is good. Oh, that's just a rank-based dumb shooter? Fun. Well, good thing it's within the week. GameStop's still doing their 1 week, and you can get your full price for it.
Yeah, that's good.
Walked in and was like, no, thank you.
But yeah, that sounds like one of those moments where you're just like, the credits start rolling on a movie, you're in the theater, and you just turn to your wife and it's like, that was good, right?
Yeah.
Like, I had that happen with
deep in my soul. It hurt.
Yeah, I had that happen in movies with Alien versus Predator and the first Transformers movie. But those are not video games, so I'll leave it at that anecdote.
No. Because you mentioned Alien vs. Predator. Now we're going to talk about it. You tried to think that movie was good from the beginning?
After, like, the first time I saw it in the theater, I'm just like walking down trying to think, that was good, right? And I think by the time I got out of the theater, I'm like, no, that wasn't good.
I bought Predator on DVD, and it came with a free ticket to see that movie. And a couple of buddies bought the same DVD, so we all went and saw that movie that opening night. And I think we knew within like 20 minutes that this movie was going to be really bad. And it just kept getting worse. And it's a movie we laugh back at it right now because there's so many like moments in that movie, like when she like pushes the Predator and she's like, "Hey buddy, you're going to take me with you," to the Predator, and the Predator's like, "Arr!" You know, it's like, he's like, "I'm going to make you a weapon now." And then he makes her a junior Predator. You know, he puts a little J on her cheek. You know, he gives her that with the alien blood. Yeah. Makes her honorary junior Predator. Terrible movie.
Yep.
They ride that slide together, remember?
Yep. Yep.
That movie's awful.
See, I blocked out all the really crap parts.
Yeah.
And I've been like,
I actually enjoyed the sequel more just because it was so absurd.
I love the sequel. The sequel.
It's a good bad.
Oh yeah, it's no. It's not a good bad. It's a fantastic bad. It's glorious. I love watching it for how bad it is.
Yeah, top tier trash.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. It's
that
so
one
over
face
the top
melting effect is actually really good though. Like the face melting, it was just a really effective effect.
And from my understanding,
effective effect. Yes, that's how words work.
Well, from my understanding, it's 2 special effects guys got the rights to direct it. Like they might have been brothers.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So it's just them basically showing what they can do.
Yeah, we're gonna make a sequel to Alien vs. Predator. Who should we cast? That one guy from Rescue Me.
That's right.
Yeah, God, I think I saw that movie once.
or the second lead, probably the 4th or 5th fireman. He's gonna be the lead here.
Yeah, it's like we couldn't get any of the other ones, so yeah, I am.
Where did the budget go? We spent it on special effects.
Yeah,
good ones too.
Yeah, they are good ones. It's not
movie,
CGI.
Though.
It's all like props, special effects too. So,
oh god, that movie is glorious. But segueing even further away from the initial question, you mentioned getting the free ticket in the DVD. And it reminded me of a thing where I was doing work experience at a school at the time at a Rogers Video rental store. And if you ever worked in a rental store, you know, like people just steal shit out of, like, people just take random crap out of the store somehow. You'll find stuff like hidden behind things, and you'll find like the most random thefts. And someone had stolen the free ticket for Wolverine Origins out of a Fantastic Four DVD, and it's just like, I'm not sure if they got the better end of that. They left the movie. They didn't steal the movie. They only wanted the ticket. And it's like, well, too bad you're going to see Wolverine Origins. You dodged one bad movie to go see the other one. That one just sticks out to me. It's like they vandalized a copy of the Fantastic Four movie, not to steal the film, but the free ticket to the other bad movie.
think when I saw that someone stole "We Bought a Zoo."
Oh,
Like I was like, what?
yeah, that's one of those
Like
things. Where
someone
it's like,
stole the disc out of it.
that's one of those things where the punishment doesn't fit the crime. The crime is the punishment.
No. It's like what?
Well, we don't have to go after them because they're already suffering.
Yeah. I was like, it's Marky Mark, but come on. That's
But I just remember the manager walking up completely dumbfounded. It's like, they opened this movie. They didn't take the movie, but they took the free ticket. She was just so baffled. It was hilarious. Ugh. Yeah, one of my other most disappointing video games was probably Duke Nukem Forever. That would probably do it. I pre-ordered that thing, the special edition.
oh. Oof.
I have that still. It's right here, displayed proudly. I knocked the Batarang from Arkham Asylum on the floor. Yep.
With Homefront, when I took it back to GameStop and was like, I need my money back. This is bad. Here's the receipt. Here's everything. I need it back. And they're like, well, we can give you like store credit for it. And I was like, am I gonna get $60 store credit? And they were like, yeah, since you've brought it back within the week, you have the receipt, and you're obviously really bummed about it. Sure. Yeah. And I was like, I'll take Bulletstorm just because I'm gonna take it. And that was the best decision of my life that came out of that.
Now, if you picked up a copy of Just Cause after that, then
see, Just Cause 2 was around that time as well. I picked up that one, and oh boy, there was a good little time frame window where every game I was picking up was just great. It's like, yeah, here we go.
That's one of those ones you have to really be into just messing around, though, because there's really nothing else.
Yeah.
It's like the only time that I had a game similar to that where I could actually get into it. I don't have anything against Just Cause. I just can't get into it just because that's not my style. Like, there's just no other substance to go for, really. But for me personally. But that kind of reminds me of the Mercenaries games on like the PS2 generation.
Yeah.
Not anywhere near.
I agree with you on that one.
Like, those aren't anywhere near as insane as Just Cause, but still.
I think Just Cause, like, the story was kind of a suggestion to me.
Yeah. Anyone else have any disappointing games or random movie anecdotes?
I'm trying to think of bad games, but it's like, for the most part,
any rental store experiences?
For the most part, I tried to be as informed as I could about stuff, and so, like, from my entire like adult life, I was like hyper focused on making sure that I knew what I was getting. Yes, I did pre-order things, but they were things that I was confident was going to be not an issue. So I can't really. I'm sure there's been something. I remember playing Two Worlds a little bit.
You know, a game that was seen as terrible that I don't think is that bad was Raccoon City, or Operation Raccoon City.
Yeah, that was more of a conceptual disappointment than actually game.
Yeah,
because it was an okay game from everything I heard, but everyone just kind of wanted something else from it.
That's one that I've wanted to play, but I've heard everyone says, "Oh, it's terrible," but I've always sat there and went, "Well, maybe it's not. Like, it might not be terrible. I should pick it up, maybe." But
it's kind of the media problem of just being okay is worse than being bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's probably what it is. It's just an okay game, you know?
Yeah.
I know P1 was very upset about it. He's told that story a few times where he's taken it back immediately the next day with the strategy guide and returned it. And he's like, I don't care. Just, I don't want this in my house. I did not have that experience. I actually got some fun out of it. So,
out of which thing?
Raccoon City, Operation Raccoon City.
I thought you were talking about a different video game, but
I've played a lot worse Resident Evil games. So
yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
No, I honestly I can't say I've gotten any recent like Musty. Like Musty, does GameStop have that policy? Like I've heard you get games where you can return within 7 days.
Yeah, they do. I think they don't advertise it, but yes, used or otherwise, there's like a 7-day policy.
Okay.
I mean, because to them, if you take a brand new game and turn it right back around to them, they can sell that for $55, and all of that is profit to them.
True.
Yeah.
Suddenly, they can refund the cost back to the publisher, maybe, since it's so close to the original purchase date. You know who would be a good resource for that is Kyle, because Kyle's working there now.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be one to talk or to ask about that. I haven't had to do that though, which is, I guess, a good thing. But I was trying to think. Yeah, I'm still like stumped on something that was
the only thing I can think of is maybe back in when I was a kid, maybe, or something like that, and you're just stuck with it,
Right, I'm just gonna buy what I'm gonna buy. I did have one time when, and it's funny. It's funny now when I think about it. But I rented American Gladiators on the NES. We got home, and what ended up happening is something that now I would have thought to clean the thing, but it was glitching out on like Human Cannonball or something like that. And so we had to like go and like my dad had to kind of like throw a stink in the rental store to get them to swap it out for something else. But now it would have been like, yeah, you just like, it just needs to be cleaned. Like that's it. Not that American Gladiators is a good game by any means.
Did you try blowing on it, Musty?
No, like it would like freeze up. Like it was glitchy and freezing up. But I don't doubt that I could have just rubbed a 1-up card on it and it would have been fine if those things existed. Or the Naki Eliminator or whatever that pink cleaning set was for the NES. But yeah, that's the only one I can think of where like I had a bad experience, but for the most part, yeah, I can't think of anything else that was like so egregious that I was like put off by it.
Yeah. I did take advantage of GameStop a couple times though, due to that 1 week window. Woof. I definitely put that to the test.
Miles does it every game he buys for EV games. Miles from Flock of Nerds.
Didn't they do that with Spider-Man?
Yeah, he did it for Spider-Man because then he transfers it to buy the next game. He does it. That's why he constantly does it. So
that's what I did. I end up getting Retro 2033 when that first came out, and that was great. Like I enjoyed the hell out of it. But Red Dead Redemption was coming out the next week, so I used that 1 week to squeeze as much content as I possibly could out of that Metro 2033, as much as I could out of it, and I loved every minute of it. But as soon as that Saturday hit, and I was like, all right, time to turn it in. I have to turn it in so I can get my back so I can get Red Dead. And that's how we got the Fallout 3. I pretty much got that DLC for free because that was the time that they were doing DLC discs, and it was Point Lookout and Operation Anchorage were and was the pit on the same one as the Anchorage, or was it the same one as it was on, I think the pit came on one of the other ones. But I literally turned it in, I bought it, downloaded the DLC and took it back the next day, and then turned it in, and then used that $10 to get the other disc, because they were the same price. And just got that DLC too. And I think I just traded in for Microsoft points in the end.
Yeah, there was a stretch in my Xbox and early 360 days where it was like I was always flipping games. Like I maybe had like 7 or 8 games in my library at any given time, and it was like, and they'd have a trade-in deal, and like 2 of the titles I had were pulling down $30 in trade a piece. So I was like, okay, I'll bring those in. I'll get this new game, and then eventually one of the other ones would then like it was just a constant cycle, and it's kind of funny how things have changed. Just a little bit. But I'm also not buying these games at full price like I was back then because sadly enough, I wasn't smart and looking for the old stuff at that point. I was always like, give me all 3 systems that are the current ones, and that's it. And but like I remember playing. I had a modded Xbox. I remember playing Super Metroid, and now I'm mad that I didn't. That didn't like set off that little light bulb in my head to go go crazy. But it is what it is.
What did I miss?
Definitely agree that I probably should have looked back and been like, oh, maybe I should pick up some of the older stuff, than being like, no, I don't. Why would I need the older stuff? Because it was easier to find, wasn't that expensive. Why didn't I make that push?
That's right. We all didn't document it quite to the level that Eric did.
Nope.
Those graphs are amazing. I just want to say those graphs are awesome.
Sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
Always takes me a while to find the unmute. Which are you referring to the graphs in our latest video?
In the year in review. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just stuff from the spreadsheet.
See, that's awesome. Well, the fact that you have the data back to that point is what's really cool about it.
Well, I mean, yeah, it goes back. I mean, my collections. I had video games from before '96, but that's about as far back as my receipts actually went. And as I say about once a year in those videos, 96, 97, 98, some of them are a little off, but
something is better than nothing, though.
Yeah. I mean, the sooner you start, the sooner 20 years goes by and you have a whole bunch of data.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That must seem laughable to you younger guys, but 20 years has flown by.
Closing in on 3,000.
Yeah.
Awesome.
My games?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We'll pass that. What am I? 29. Oh, so 85. Yeah, we'll pass that probably in March or April.
Are you gonna make it some big milestone game or like just?
I hadn't thought about it. I could. I used to keep track in the spreadsheet. Like when I bought a game, I used to number them, and at one point I knew what my 500th game was. But the data is so inaccurate that it really wasn't my 500th game. I do remember that my 2000th game, according to the spreadsheet at the time, was a 2K published game. That was a strange coincidence. I'll have to look that one up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's arbitrary, right? Because I maybe bought like 5 games that day, and I just said, okay, well, this one will be 2000. So it becomes a 2K game was my 2Kth game. I'll have to look up which one it was.
I'm going to guess BioShock.
BioShock. It could be. That's about, I think.
06? 07?
No. I didn't cross 2000 until like 2013 or 2014. I'll have to look at the chart. So if anything, it'd be Infinity.
Infinite, yeah.
No, I think it's something much more lame, like NHL Hockey 2001 for the Xbox. I think it's something dumb like that. I'll look it up. I think I did it in my video when I did it. I'll check. All right, you got me curious. You guys should pay attention to Jason. He's on the.
Yeah. Hey, Jason.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey.
You're muted.
Unmute. You got to unmute.
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, how's it going, man?
Yeah.
How old's your baby now?
Oliver is
Oliver,
19 months old.
Okay. Congratulations on the twins.
Thank you, sir.
When do they do, if you don't mind my asking?
Surprisingly, right around his birthday.
So, oh gosh.
June 2nd.
June, okay.
Yeah.
Wow,
so
you're going to have... That's
somewhere
clever.
between May and June.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's going to be quite the household.
Yeah, 3 under 3, man.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, the apartment's got 2 bedrooms, so we're going to have to get a new house. And the SUV is not 3-seater, so we're going to have to get a minivan.
Oh,
it's not a third row, so we're going to have a minivan for 3 car seats.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to deal with the car seats.
Yeah, man. I figured I literally had to go into my back storage room to dig out the camera and the microphone so I could join you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen much of you since your
My
dollar
man.
dorks.
Yeah, I've been hiding. I lost my game room to my son. He took over my game room as his bedroom, so half of the game room itself, including all of my systems, got packed away into storage. And then aside from that, I've been playing a lot of modern stuff, a lot of PS4, but other than that, I haven't been picking anything up because no money to spend on stuff like that. And I sold off a lot of the filler, as a lot of you guys know. I threw it up there early on, to kind of, that was last year, middle of last year. I sold off a lot of random filler stuff. And aside from that, I just haven't been picking stuff up. And I dug back into, I had some procedures done on my neck because I have some bad herniations in my neck, and it got me back functioning again. So I switched back to my other hobby to get me outside. I metal detect as my second hobby, and so I went out.
Wow.
I dig a lot of holes, and I find a lot of cool treasure. But so if I'm not home with the wife and kid, I'm out digging holes. About it.
Are you aware about Too Many Games, MJ?
Yeah, man. I'm always aware of Too Many Games. It's the closest big show to my house. I would have loved to have gone to Mag. Half of my friends list was at MagFest.
For the Cartridge Club this year.
No, I am not aware. What's going on?
Musty, you're in charge of it, so might as well tell me.
So last year we did.
Oh, hold on, 1 second.
Yeah.
NJ, last time I think you talked to me, you said you wanted to get us to come out to Too Many Games. Well, your wish has been granted.
Yeah.
So.
Get the hell out of here. So wait, you guys picked PRG
now let Musty.
Now TMG is the PRG.
No, so what's happening? Last year in Chicago we did C3, and if you heard about us doing that, instead of us continuing to do that we decided this year we wanted to frame it around a show, and we wanted to pick one that was reasonable distance for a good number of people. So we picked, and it needed to be summer, so we picked Too Many Games. So we'll have details coming out pretty soon. We have the hotel figured out, and then we're going to be basically that weekend we're going to get as many of the clubbers out to one location. We'll go to those who want to go to the convention can go to the convention, but we're going to do our live podcasting thing, like our social event on the Sunday night and then all day Monday.
Wait a minute. Wait. Whoa. So, okay. How many people are we talking?
So last year in Chicago, we had 33 people.
So you're expecting probably somewhere close to, because we're so much closer to Ontario.
Close, if not higher than that. Yeah.
So I know, I hate to sound like this. I don't want to be that guy, but I know a lot of fucking people over here. Like a lot of people involved in TMG, like the people who run TMG. Like I could probably get us a Cartridge Club table.
I can talk to. Right now
booth?
we've been just trying to lock down accommodations for all of us at one spot,
I could probably talk to some people and maybe get us discount admission tickets.
Yes.
Like
that.
No, I mean,
yes.
Like if we're talking like an actual serious group of people, I might be able to get a discount on admission. I might be able to get us an actual artist table.
If you get if you get a table, that's huge because those are usually like $400 to $600.
At TMG, it's big. It's they start. I mean, like a vendor table's about $400, and then just an artist table's like 300 plus. I mean, I could probably get us a Cartridge Club table.
That'd be nice just to have. We were talking about doing that at Midwest at one point.
I could probably get us a panel. If you want to
bring that up, because I don't know if that's a panel situation for that convention.
Yeah, no, TMG has 3 panel rooms.
Yeah, they have a ton of panels.
No, well, the panel rooms are limited as far as room space, but they do have a ton of panels. Like over 3 days, they probably have like 60 panels over 3 rooms.
Gotcha.
But I could probably get a panel. Like, I mean, I know everybody that runs it and who has owned it for a great many years.
Okay.
This is it's in Pennsylvania. All right.
Yeah, I mean, this is my local. This is my local show. It's only 50 minutes away from me, and these are the people that when I drink, I go out drinking with these people.
That's up. That's actually closer to me as well. That'd be. I plan to make it out to C3, and then good old Army decided to do
I hate to be an ass because I've been away for a while, but Michael, are you Marmal?
Yes, that is me.
Nice.
That is me.
Pleasure to meet you. I'm Jason, NJ Retro.
Pleasure to meet you too.
Welcome back.
So, I mean, like, how many? So we're talking what? Probably 25 people, I would say, reasonably.
So as of right now, using last year's numbers, we had 12 rooms, I think, at least double occupancy in all those rooms, and I know we had both Duke and his entire family, and then Eric and Melissa and their entire family came as well. There was a caravan from Ontario that had Hodge and Bill and Kevin and Sarah and J-Rock who came down. But yeah, it was. It was quite the gathering.
Bill and J-Rock, I'd probably buy your always here in order to see Bill and J-Rock. I think
it's like it'd be like 8 hours for those guys.
It's like a straight shot. It's like a straight shot south for them.
Yeah, because I go to Retro Game Con in Syracuse, which is about 2.5 hours across the border from them in Syracuse, New York, and that's about a 6-hour drive for me. So it's about an 8 to 9 hour drive for them.
Yeah,
but it's reasonable. I think that's even closer than Chicago, correct?
For them, yes.
Okay.
It's like 10 and a half for them.
Because they basically have to come across Niagara, I think, in order to get to Chicago anyway, which is the same direction they'd come to Philly.
They did Detroit. Those guys did last time, but yeah, it's the same, roughly the same. But yeah, so that's the plan. We're still hammering out details, but we're working on our registration process because one of the things that we ran into last year was a lot of people kind of kicked the can down the road until the last minute, and so we found ourselves kind of frantically asking like who's booked, who hasn't, because the hotel we were in wouldn't tell us who had booked, which was really frustrating. This place I think is going to be a little bit more not free with information, but at least let us know that, you know.
Well,
I think they're going to give us names, but yeah,
I can guarantee you 100%. I can't get you anything on hotel accommodations because I don't.
Oh, we're set. We're set. The hotel, it's a little bit of a. It's not like city center, or it's not like right next to the convention because
the convention's not city center either. So
yeah, that's sense. You're right. It's
hotels are about 12 to 15 minutes away,
and that's exactly where we are. So
yeah, you're in King of Prussia, correct?
We will be in Limerick.
Okay, you're north. All right, yeah, that's still no big deal. Everything surrounds about. So Turnpike, you guys got the Turnpike out by you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's a
the
straight
Oaks
shot.
Oaks
It
Convention
looked like.
Center is a turnpike. It's about 4 exits away from where you're staying. 5 exits. Maybe.
Philly's what, like an hour from Limerick, I guess.
So
Something like
where the so this is considered the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center is what they call it, and so
Right.
all the big shows that can't be accommodated within the city confines because of traffic and parking, they put to the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center, which is about 35 minutes outside of the center city. It's really close to center city Philly, but it's not in the city. You're not even
Suburbs.
considered in. You're not even in the suburbs of the
Really?
physical
Okay.
city. You're in the towns surrounding the suburbs.
It's
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's not much out there. There's like a golf course, a park, and a couple restaurants. There's not much.
But from where you're going to be in Limerick, you're actually closer to one of the premier game stores in the region, which is Classic Game Junkie. If you want to look it up, the guy that owns it is Frank Stanchek, and he's a really awesome dude. And that's literally 10 minutes outside of the center of city, 15 minutes tops. And it's on the north side of the city, which you are also going to be on the north side of the city.
Okay.
So from where your hotel is, you might be 20 minutes from his store. And his store has, it's kind of, I would say it's like 70% store and 30% museum. So he's got like display cases of stuff that you may have never even seen before. Frank's got a lot of shit. And then his selection itself and his prices are very good. So if you want to go to like a premier store,
okay,
because Frank doesn't even bother to set up a TMG, even though it's like 15 minutes away, because he's such a big premier store that it's not worth him to pack up and move it to the show.
Gotcha.
You understand?
Yeah.
He's better off having the daily business than he is having the show business on a weekend. That shows you what he has in store. So it's worth taking the trip to the show. And when you leave the show at like 4 or 5 o'clock, you go over to Classic Game Junkie and you check out the store.
Okay. Yeah, we did that in Chicago. We found some people did some thrifting, but we found a shop that was pretty. I was fairly impressed by it. I don't want to speak for everybody, but I found some things.
Classic Game Junkie has been on every episode of Too Many Games Game Chaser episodes. So if you ever go back through the log and check out Game Chasers, go through their Too Many Games videos, and in those videos, you'll see them visit a store either at the end of the show or before or the day after. And that's Classic Game Junkie. And
they always go to the basement and look around.
Yes, exactly. I've been in the basement myself, and it is exactly what you see.
Was that where they found the XI in the basement?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you go in the, I mean, honest to God, Musty, they didn't even show everything in the video, but when you walk in the basement of the store, there are literal piles, man height, 5 to 6 foot tall of Genesis. There's a pile of Super Nintendos, like just systems, man height, about 5 to 6 foot wide, like just systems in the basement.
That's
in
crazy.
A pile.
Okay.
And that's not including the stuff he actually has for sale. That's just the stuff that's in the basement.
Yeah, well, we'll need to pick your brain as we kind of get closer to, well, once we kind of get the ball rolling with letting people know what they need to do to get registered. Well, yeah, I'll definitely want to pick your brain because it's unlike Chicago. Okay. Unlike
yeah.
I was gonna say, unlike Chicago, which I had some familiarity with, like we don't have somebody who you're the closest one of everybody. Of course, we have Chris. You've been to
it's me,
TMG
Ben.
before,
It's me, Ben, and Duke are the 3 closest people in the club to TMG.
Yeah, we just don't have like a local presence like there to do like boots on the ground reconnaissance on stuff.
Yeah, I hang out with most of these people. Like literally, like a lot of the vendors that are there, the guys that run the show, like Screenwave Media, some of the guys that are involved with Screenwave. Like I'm sure you guys watch Cinemassacre, right?
Mm-hmm.
So did you see the latest videos where they're doing like the rental reviews with James and Kieran is on the videos, and Justin Silverman and Antonio Peluso? I know all those guys. Like I drink with those guys. So I mean,
You got the connections.
When there's a Screenwave party, I go to the Screenwave party. So, I mean, I might have something. You know what I mean? If it's not like the greatest hookup in the world, it's going to be something. I'll talk to a bunch. I know a lot of people.
I think you're on the committee at this point.
Yeah, I wish.
I mean, for this get together.
Yeah, I mean, I can at least. I didn't realize this was a thing. Like, holy shit!
Yeah,
like,
we just kind of revealed the location a couple weeks ago so that people could start to like save the date for it.
I've been praying for this for years, man.
Yeah. In other words, you came on a really good day.
Yes.
Fucking A.
You picked the right week to come on
I picked a good Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
The unfortunate part is my kids are due, like, the week of the
before.
show.
No, that's not important.
Listen, hun. I'm sorry. I gotta go to TFG. The whole Cartridge Club's gonna be there. God damn it.
Yeah, you can't miss this. I'm sorry. Yeah. Either you push them out
Bill,
early or you
Bill
hold them
from
in.
STC Pod. You know Bill. Like, shit.
And maybe we'll get Joe this time.
Yeah, right.
Although he thinks he's going to Pittsburgh. I don't know.
Cruise?
I don't know what's going on.
Tom Cruise, that's right.
Tom Cruise going to Pittsburgh.
Philly?
I
don't think Tom Cruise has ever been to Philly.
I think I mentioned it once that there was a show there, and maybe it's stuck in his mind.
Yeah, but it's Joe. He gets to climb the Rocky steps. He might actually show up for that.
I want to meet I want to go to Rocky statue. That's like,
yeah, no, it's not as great as you think it is. It's not as great as you think.
I've been once.
It's Philly. So how many cities have you been to, Ryan? Because Philadelphia is probably the dirtiest of the ones you'll ever go to.
Dirtiest?
Oh yeah, God, it's a filthy city.
I mean, I've been to Chicago, and that's pretty disgusting.
No,
I mean, am I right?
It's the Philadelphia Filthies. We don't have the Philadelphia Phillies. It's the Philadelphia Filthies.
Yeah, but there's the Rocky statue, so I really want to see that. So that's
and they call them the Eagles, but it's really the Seagulls. Like, it's that bad.
Oh gosh, that's Kevin and Sarah are probably gonna take so many pictures on those steps.
It's a dirty, dirty city. It's a very old and historic city. It's older than Chicago. So when you went to Chicago and you saw, like, man, Center City's really tight and cramped. No, Philly Center City's even tighter and more cramped because it was all horse and buggy streets.
The indoor market's kind of cool, but yeah, it's not.
Yeah, Reading Terminal's beautiful. It's a really nice market.
It's like Jason said, not the prettiest.
No,
place.
anything after about 4:30 in the afternoon, I'd probably go back to the hotel room. It's true.
Just grab a couple of Philly cheesesteaks on the way out.
We have a good. I mean, there's the city's got. All right, so if you're going to be staying in, oh God, Limerick you're out in the fucking boons. Like, literally, you're in the boondocks. But you could probably catch an Uber into the city for about $20, and if you get like an XL, it'll probably be like $30, and you could fit like 8 or 10 person per vehicle, right? In an XL, maybe 8 people. If you go into the city, there's a barcade in the city, so it's there's probably 60, 70 arcade machines and a good craft beer selection. That's in a hot spot of town, which now has, God, I don't know, 2 dozen brewery, 2 dozen bars, and then there's also a brewery, a distillery. There's a lot going on in that area surrounding the barcade. If you guys wanted to venture into the city, if you go into Center City, you can see the Liberty Bell, you can see Independence Hall, so you see like some roots of the country itself. And then aside from that, the architecture in the center of the city is beautiful. There's a lot of bars. There's a lot of restaurants. Like we have a couple Michelin star restaurants in the city, I believe. There's a lot to do in Philly. Philly's, I mean, it's a premier city. Like, if you're going to talk about New York City, Los Angeles, Philadelphia is also on the list, usually, just like Chicago is. It's one of probably top 10 cities in the country. So there is definitely a lot to see if you really wanted to take the touristy side of it. But aside from that, where you're staying in Limerick, it's not convenient to get yourself into the city.
Sure.
Unless you Uber.
I think we were focused more on proximity to the con itself, and
right.
So that's a lot of why we picked where we picked, and the price which we'll share eventually was very good for what we want. And with us doing, because last year we did that, we did like 4 live podcasts and like streamed those, so we had a conference room and stuff, and this place is doing that for us at a fraction of what we paid for the one in Chicago, which is also very appealing when it comes to that. So
the interesting thing about Limerick, where you're going out in PA, is it's an extremely old portion of the country. So if you're used to being in the Midwest and you're used to seeing when the country was settled in the 1860s, 1870s, Limerick was settled in very, very, very early 1700s, 1710, 1720. So the architecture and the roads, and when you drive down there, when you go out where your hotel is, you're going to see stone foundation houses and lime kilns, which is, Limerick was huge for, they used to mine lime, you know, and it's just an extremely old area. So you're going to be going in and you're going to be like, man, this looks like I'm in Pilgrim country, essentially. Like that's, it's a very early settlement of the country is where you're going to be. So it's going to be, it's a very, very beautiful, beautiful area. And so if you're used to being out in the Midwest, or if you're used to being out in the far West, Eric, you're, this is going to be something unlike what you've seen at home.
Okay.
It just looks colonial. Like you don't even need to know it is. You just show up out there and you're like, God damn, these houses look really old. Like this is an old area. It's beautiful out here.
It's I was going to say, it sounds like they've already picked the location. You don't need to sell it this hard.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's just, you know, if you're coming from anywhere around the country, I mean, hell, if I've never been to Chicago. I don't know what to expect when I get out there. I've never been to Oregon. I've never been to, you know, Washington. I have no idea. So when you come here, that's, you know, they were looking for stuff to do in Chicago, right? Because you have no idea what you're getting into.
Mm-hmm.
This is Pennsylvania and Philly. It's old. And it's shitty. There's kind of like a weird dichotomy there. It's beautifully old, but it's shitty because it's been around for a long time.
Yeah,
a long time to shit it up.
They put it on the sign. Welcome to Philadelphia. It's old and shitty.
Yeah, they've had a lot of time to shit it up.
The shitty of Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's the shitty of brotherly love.
No, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad that we made your day with that news. Then,
I really hope I can make it. I mean, that's, like I said, that's prime time. That's ball drop.
Even if you couldn't make it to the con, if you could make it on the Monday, that's when our gathering is going to happen. Granted, we will have been around each other for 3 days at that point, but the event
stink badly and smell like gamers. You know,
no.
I'm just kidding.
Really gamey.
I do not take responsibility for everyone else, but I will be showered. Contrary to what my namesake says.
You'll be very disappointed that he does not live up to the moniker.
That's right. Smells okay and actually super tall.
Blatant false advertisement.
Apparently, there's no hair on the feet. This is total lies. There's no hairy feet anywhere.
I keep my socks on.
You have socks?
Socks? Proud feet. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Jason, real quick. The number that you have on your Facebook, that's the number, right?
Yes. I will DM anybody who's interested. So
yeah, I'm gonna DM you to get your number, Jason.
So I'll let you know now. I have, you know, one of those under the bed storage totes. those long plastic totes that fit under your bed. I have one that's entirely full of manuals. Mostly NES, Super Nintendo, N64, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Genesis, early stuff. I have there's about, I don't know, God, there's probably 150 consoles in the back room of my house, which is, it's consoles, and then I have controllers in boxes. So if you need controllers, if you need consoles that you want to mess around with, if you need manuals for games to complete them, I have a lot of cases. I think I have 400 to 500 DS cases, like random games for the DS, like case and manual in the back. I have a lot of cases for PS2 and PS1 and just random. I have a lot of random shit.
Yeah.
And then actual games that I've held on to. I have, I think my inventory for shows in the back is probably, it's a lot of what you saw in the last pictures where it showed the long storage totes. But aside from that, if you need more pictures, I can get it. It's a lot of filler stuff for different systems, and then some decent $5, $10, $15 games. And then my collection itself that I'm narrowing down. I have a decent amount of Wii U titles. I have, and a lot of retro stuff. I have a lot of box GBA, a lot of, case and manual DS. I did a lot of handheld stuff. I have a lot of loose DS games, a lot of loose GBA games, a lot of SNES, not a lot of Nintendo. I got most of my Nintendo stuff's gone. A lot of heavy hitter N64 titles, like solid N64 titles.
Chris Roberts is 4 games away from completing his N64 collection, and I think he's been hoping for you to make an appearance again.
Yeah, I think what Chris needs is probably gone by now, though. Does he need rarities or does he need commons?
No, he needs the most common or most, I would say, rare one is probably the second Goemon game, the Goemon's Great Adventure game, I believe it's called.
I think that's sitting on my shelf, actually.
He put it up maybe to yesterday, I think. I can pull it up.
Yeah, I was going to pull it up right now.
He needs Goemon,
but probably not for as much as it's going for.
Yeah, but I mean,
Goemon,
honestly,
Hydro Thunder, Shadowgate 64, and Space Station Silicon Valley. That's it.
Does he need the Hydro Thunder gray or blue?
I think he just wants one of them.
I sold off my gray. I think I still have a blue.
I think he's not concerned about variants right now. He just wants to complete the set.
That gray one, by the way, if anybody has it, the gray one's going for like $60-$70.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because that's the harder to find. The blue is the common one. It's still, but I mean, even still common, it's like a $15-$20 game, but still. And I think I have Goemon.
Yeah, I'd be better off with a list of the stuff you have, even though that's probably like an insane amount of shit.
It's an impossibility. I mean, like it's more like, give me a call, give me a text, let me know the system you're looking for, and then I'll let you know what I got, kind of deal.
Yeah, fair.
I'll text you.
I'll try and think of some stuff, but just looking at NES right now, the only things I can even think of that I'd be looking for is like the heavy hitter would be Ninja Gaiden 3.
I actually gave that one away.
Damn you!
Like, have you guys ever seen Living in 8 Bits? Or
you mentioned them before.
Yeah, the guy who runs Living in 8 Bits, who does all the filming and directing for them. He was going for NES, not complete, but just like the big solid stuff that he enjoyed, and I gave him my Ninja Gaiden 3 along with a Mega Man 4 and 6 and some manuals, and that's what I'm saying. Like you were talking about, prices, Andrew. Like it's anything that you want off of me, it's going to be sub eBay, because obviously I have to pay fees and shipping for eBay. So I mean, you're talking probably 20% at least off of what anything goes for, plus some.
I've dealt with Jason.
I love everyone.
Jason's telling the truth about it.
It's not a concern of me being ripped off. It's a concern. It's like I don't want to like lowball you and rip you off on something, even if you're willing to do it.
You gotta remember, like eBay, I'm paying 10%.
Yeah.
And then PayPal, I'm paying 3%. and then shipping, I'm paying another probably 5%. So this is 20% right off the top. So that's usually what I do. Is anybody who wants anything?
Have you shipped to Canada? It might be worse than that all combined.
Andrew, I have shipped to Canada, and usually, like, what I'll do is, it depends on how much stuff you're getting.
Yeah.
If you want $100 worth of stuff, I'll probably give it to you for $120 and ship it to you. Yeah. Because shipping on the $100 is going to be like $45.
Yeah, so, but I'm mostly joking, but
no, I understand.
Sometimes it can get bad.
Hell, I shipped the mystery box to J-Rock, and the mystery box cost me $81 to ship to J-Rock. Yeah. Well, that's also because I doubled the size of the mystery box myself. So
that'll do it.
Yeah, I can't remember how much it cost to ship to. When I shipped it to Julian, it might have been $30 or $40.
Yeah, when I shipped it to J-Rock, it was $81.70 or something.
I think I shipped,
and I don't even think the entire box was worth that much at the time.
I think just in terms of shipping rate shenanigans, I think I shipped 2 similarly weighted packages at different times. One to Ontario and the other to Japan. The Ontario one cost more. I would assume, or like close, like closer than it should be. Like within your own country or to Japan, same thing.
I've always heard horror stories about just prices for Canada Post.
Yep,
I sent a small package of comic books to Ontario, and it was $16.
Chris, USPS isn't any better anymore.
No.
And I mean, have you looked into UPS or FedEx? It's like highway robbery.
Yeah.
Like you want to ship anything that's even a pound through UPS or FedEx starts at like $15.
Unless you have a company discount.
This is true.
Yeah.
I like getting supplements in the mail, Ryan.
Yeah.
Derek.
So, Jason, I was going to ask you, what do you think of the prices at TMG? I always thought they were like eBay or higher, it felt like, from a lot of the vendors. Wait
a minute. You're not local, are you? I thought you were West Coast, Chris.
I'm in DC area. So I'm in Northern Virginia. So it's like a 3.5-hour drive for me.
So you've been to TMG then?
Yeah, I think I was...
Okay.
I think we were going back and forth trying to find each other last time. I think I missed you.
I ran into Ben and Duke, and then the weekend got crazy because the alcohol started flowing. But so TMG it's a major show, and it is a show. So anytime you expect to buy anything at a show, the thing you need to expect, and I think Eric, it looks like he dropped out.
He had to take off.
And
Marmal too.
Yeah.
But Eric can attest to this, is that the purpose of going to a show is not to find great prices, but it's to find everything.
Yeah, just stuff that you are looking for that you haven't been able to find.
Yeah, so TMG is the kind of show, especially like Portland, SoCal, Retropalooza, Midwest Gaming Classic. The largest shows in the country will attract items that you will only ever see on eBay. And the ones that you see on eBay are so infrequent and so cost inefficient that you're scared to even purchase them because you don't even know if it's the legit item you want to buy, or the condition might not be right. This is something that if you're going for that like cash cow, that big milestone in your collection, you're going to buy it at a TMG or a SoCal or a Portland.
Yeah, or even just like mid-tier pricing. Like
yeah,
you're not going to get
you're talking $100 plus, $100 plus. This is the show you want to buy it at.
Yeah, but even if you're like looking for something like I got Dragon Quest VI on DS, it's like you're not going to get a good in-hand friendly trade on that.
I agree.
Anywhere other than a show.
For DS, that's a high dollar item. That's a $40, $50 ticket item all day long.
Right.
I got that for $20 and complete copies of Pokemon, I think Diamond and Pearl, that I had spent $10 total on at a thrift store.
That's great.
They were immaculate, so it's like $3.
Right. I was just trying to warn people when they go, because I know not everybody's been to some of these major shows.
Yeah, if you're bundling up or trading, you're not getting a great deal.
No, but the thing is, you can always find stuff that, from my experience, because almost every show I've been to is very much the same like that. But there's always some people who probably haven't adjusted their prices on things because they're bringing heavy loads, right? Of stuff. So they might not be exactly priced, and you might find something that's not, might have jumped up in price that you've been looking for, and you're finding it way below price charting. I seem to find that at least at every convention I go to, or you find a guy who's just willing to just get rid of everything, or
Yeah. So a good thing at TMG that I found in years past, because I've been going for I don't know, 7 years. The past good things in TMG is anything sub $10 when you want fillers for your collection. It's a great spot to get a lot of the oddball fillers you're not going to find in thrift stores, because thrift stores are going to find a lot of sports titles. This show, you're going to find a lot of the Marsupilami, a lot of Sonic Spinball, a lot of $3 random bullshit that you want to fill in your collection. Easy, cheap. The other thing you're going to find is, like Ryan said, the complete oddball deal. So 4 years ago, I nailed Cannon Spike at TMG for $20.
Yeah, that's a steal right there.
Because the guy had a case of Dreamcast games. He was insanely busy. There was a lot of shit at his table. I saw Cannon Spike in there, and Cannon Spike had no price label. And so I pulled it out, and I said, "How much for this?" And I whipped it up in the air, and he just looked at it from a glance and was like, $20, because he was so busy he didn't want to deal with it.
Yep. And Jason, that's very much like I got the pink Justifier at Portland this last year for $4.
Yeah.
So, because I picked it up, I didn't see a price tag, and I asked the guy how much he wanted for it, and he just kind of laughed, and I'm like, "What are you asking for?" He said, "How about $4?" And I'm like, "Here you go," and I just walked right away because I knew what I got.
I'm gonna crumple these bills in my hand. I'm gonna throw them at you like a golf ball.
Yep. I didn't even bother, to argue with it. I was like, "Yep, see you later."
That was the Cannon. I grabbed a 20, I folded it up, and I chucked it across the table at him because he was so busy. And I was like, "Thanks, buddy."
Get the hell out of there
later. And the next year at TMG, I sold it for $180 because it was pristine.
Because I know the Bad Graphics Gamer got there every year. They always have sort of the heavy hitters.
They're at every convention now.
Bad Graphics. They were
Bad
there
Graphics Gaming, yeah.
They were. Buzzy and Jay were there last year, and they spent about $400 out of my trunk. Literally, I made about $2,600 out of the trunk of my car at TMG last year, because that was my inventory from shows. I brought it and I sold it to friends, and I sold it to dealers at the show that I know personally, and I sold about $2,600 worth of games. I sold probably 2 of those under bed storage bins full of games, like nothing, right out of the trunk of my car, and I didn't have to pay $500 for a table. That was just me hanging out for the weekend, chilling with people. I was drunk. I was high all weekend, and these guys were coming out to the trunk, buying video games, throwing money at me.
I'm not sure if those are greasy trunk deals or just really clean trunk deals.
Oh no, it was greasy trunk deals.
Yeah, not just anecdote from random freaking.
But if you're that's the other thing, is if you're going to drive up or you're going to drive out, Ryan.
I might drive out. My
pack a bin.
Couple buddies have, I was talking with them about this being, the Cartridge Club thing and being out at too many games, and they've wanted to go out to it this year too. So if they want to drive, one of them has kind of like a work perk where his company pays for his vehicle and his gas, where I might be able to road trip it for free. So that's what I'm hoping for, Oh,
Tucker. Oh. Sorry, dogs are freaking out. Kids sleep.
But yeah, ultimately I might be able to have cheap travel that way, which would be great.
Pack a bin. Grab $15 to $20 titles. I mean, I hate to say this because it's gonna pain you like it pains me to do it. On your shelves, the stuff that's super, super easy to get. You know, the Kirby Crystal Shards, the Super Mario World, the Mario 64, the super simple shit that you can always find if you needed it again. Grab a bunch of that stuff, throw it in a little tote, throw it in the car and bring it. Because when you get there and you're like, okay, my budget's $100, $200, you walk in the door, you spend the $200 in the first day, you're there for 3 days. You're going to want cash, and you're not going to want to raid your bank account and hurt it. So you're going to take games that are super common and super easy to get, and the guys are looking for that because they're going to sell at the show that weekend. So the first day, when you walk in and you're like, I don't want to spend money first day because I'm looking for the deals at the end of the show, the first day is where you go, hey, listen, I'm willing to trade some shit, and you drop some $10, $15, $20, $30 commons. That stuff, Mario parties, Mario Karts, Super Mario Worlds, the Pokemons, the super easy stuff to get. You drop that on them, and they want that for the show because they're going to mark it up by like 50% of what retail is. And that's when you pull in the weird oddball stuff. So I walked in last year with, no, it wasn't last year, it was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I walked into TMG and I had a backpack full of shit, and it was common, easy to get stuff and common expensive stuff. And I walked up to a table and I traded a Operation Genesis for Xbox, which was like, what, $80 at the time?
Yeah.
Still is.
I
more
traded
more than that now, yeah.
I landed myself a pristine complete in box Axley on Super Nintendo for a complete in box Operation Genesis. So that went from an $80 to about $150 trade up, because Operation Genesis is that common expensive game that a lot of guys walking into the show are looking for. And that Axley, Axley is a friggin' amazing game on Super Nintendo, but only top tier guys are looking for that boxed Axley, that they're willing to spend that from $60 for the game alone to $150 for a pristine copy. And you can trade up on stuff like that. So if you walk in the show day one with a backpack full of stuff, you don't spend any cash. You walk in and you drop those $10, $20, $30 games on the table, and you say, I want to buy my game with this. And they will take it all day long.
Yeah, it's like familiar titles sell.
Yeah, it's the stuff that, mom and pop are going to walk in with their kids for the show because it sees 15,000 people in a weekend. And they're going to buy that $30 Pokemon Diamond. They're going to pay $20 for Super Mario World. They're going to pay $30 for Link to the Past. So they're going to want those games. And you know that you can get them tomorrow for probably $10, $15 cheaper.
Yeah, it's like with my Dragon Quest trade, it's like that guy was probably sitting on Dragon Quest for a long time. It's like Pokemon's, he probably sold it that day.
It's exactly, you could like it at TMG, you could have walked up to him with a diamond or pearl and been like, I'll straight up trade. And he would have been like, okay, deal. Because that Pokemon is going to sell.
Yeah,
that
it
day.
was a very quick discussion. It was like, what do you do after these? It's like $20? Sure. Done.
Yeah. So that's the biggest tip I could give anybody. If you're going to come to TMG, is bring your commons that sell for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, your solid dollar amounts.
Yeah. Name recognition is what you're looking for. Because
Stuff you can pack in a backpack.
Yeah, even like stuff that's relatively expensive, but like known, like the Jurassic Park. It's like people are going to be going to the convention looking for that. Barely anybody is going to be looking for, like, for an example, I had a friend, he couldn't go to the show, so I asked him if he was looking for anything, and he dropped this title on me, and I asked everyone at the show, and I just got raised eyebrows all day long. It's like Brigandine on PS1. Yeah. It's like nobody had it, nobody knew what it was. It's like I don't either.
Brigandine's like $60 to $80 complete. Yeah. So I mean, if you walk up to that guy with a Pokemon Fire Red, a Pokemon Pearl and a Super Mario World, stuff that you see constantly, he'll probably do a straight up trade.
Yeah.
Because those 3 games are going to go that day within an hour or two. And that Brigandine's going to sit there all weekend because that guy that wants it is going to sit there and poke at it and go, I don't know. $80, I don't know.
Yeah, but 80 US is 106 Canadian. I think it was more than that at the time.
Yeah.
Like 2-3 years ago.
But Musty, I know I can see it in your background. Yeah. That shit is all over the shelves.
What are you willing to part with?
What do you? That's exactly it.
What are you buying?
Well, I have all of like the most expensive Xbox game that's left. Well, aside from Metal Wolf Chaos, which I don't know that I'll ever see a copy of that. The most expensive one I have like on the list is like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which is funny because I traded that away I traded that away at Midwest 2017 to get my Tengen Tetris, I think.
But that's exactly it, because that guy was going to sell Marvel vs. Capcom 2 much easier than he was going to sell that Tengen Tetris.
Yeah.
But you trade it up.
Yes, yeah.
And like, say you like GameCube games, any Nintendo console, you're probably going to get more for a multi-plat title on there than like PS2 or Xbox, just because of the Nintendo name.
Yeah, it's usually how it goes.
GameCube, not like super much more, but like it's gonna have. It's like, oh, Nintendo. It's gonna.
You walk in with Mario Kart. You walk in with Luigi's Mansion, and any games like that, like Wario Land, anything. It's money. It's just it's $20 bills.
But I'm talking even like the Resident Evil titles on there, like 0 and 4. Like those are not high ticket items by any means, but they'll sell.
They're dollar bills.
Yeah. Got to do that with Baldur's Gate on GameCube because I have no interest in playing that game on that particular system.
It's a good thing to keep in mind, Ryan, Musty, Chris, that like if you're going to travel this far, it's worth packing a duffel bag that like it offsets it greatly, and it's not stuff that you're going to miss because it's easy to get from anyone, from any store, from anywhere. It's the stuff you find in thrift stores.
This is a good point. We haven't had your suggestions in
you need to make an appearance on
Yeah.
Dollar Dorks. Your once a year opinion on Dollar Dorks again.
It's simple economics. That's all it is. It's just it's supply and demand. It's the stuff that people want versus the stuff that the random oddballs like us sitting in this chat room are go for.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Because I think all this standard stuff sort of applies, like bundle deals and negotiate that type of thing.
Yeah,
so that's how standard sort of fair.
But just bring an arsenal of $20 bills with you. Plastic $20 bills. Bring them with you. It'll go far. Trust me.
I think the problem with my sell piles is mostly 5s.
But
which is why I still have them.
I had another deal I did. This is last year. Might have been last year. I traded off a copy of I had Jimmy Connor's Tennis for NES, which is a rare NES title. I think it's like $60 now. Mine had a Blockbuster sticker on it, so it's like $30. And the other one I traded to him was another oddball. I think it was Tecmo Soccer, which is like a $40 title. But they're two completely oddball NES games, and I traded those for Lightning Force on Genesis, and I traded it for Thunder Force 3 complete in box, and Granada. So 3 shooters on the Genesis for 2 NES games that were uncommon and hard to find because the NES games were going to sell faster than the Genesis games were. But if I wanted to pay for the Genesis games, it would have cost me about $120 for the 3 games. The Nintendo titles, value-wise, was only like $70, and I don't even think I paid $15 for the 2 of them. So it's just carrying 20s with you, like plastic 20s.
Yeah, I'm going to put this out there because I'm looking stuff up from my trade pile since you're talking about this. Anyone looking for Resident Evil 3 right now by chance?
If Resident Evil on Dreamcast is money.
PlayStation, unfortunately.
Still, Resident Evil 3 on PlayStation.
That goes for $30 complete, and I've got an immaculate copy of it.
That's what I'm saying. It's just money in the bank. Like if you want to walk in the door and get something that's a $20 or $25 game, you can straight up trade probably even up with no problem.
then we're screwed if VG Collectaholic brings all this crap with him.
No, Scott's still looking for stuff.
Oh yeah, he's got an endless list.
Said Scott. Actually, honestly, Chris, Scott is a person that I'd be willing to drive to Connecticut to bring him what I have, because I know what he's going to buy is probably half of what I've got. He's actually worth driving the 7-8 hours up to Connecticut to bring it to him.
I just looked this up as a lark just to see if it was worth any money whatsoever. Small Soldiers on PS1, $11. That's way more than you should pay for that.
Yeah.
So are any of the Leisure Suit Larry games worth anything still? Because I've got a jewel case copy of one of those. I don't know why I'm tripping on my work at this moment,
but PC ones are, but I think the Xbox one is probably $15 to $20, right?
Yeah, I think you're right.
The PC ones, if you have original big box releases that are pristine, you're probably looking at about $20 to $30 a copy.
Yeah, all I've got is a jewel case copy of Love for Sale.
They'd have to be big box on PC.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna warn you guys. TMG has nothing close by. So we have a convenience store, which is I don't know what your convenience stores in the Midwest are, but 7-Eleven, say.
Yeah, we have a bunch of those.
Have you heard of Wawa?
No.
Okay.
That's an East. Yeah, it's like a Mid-Atlantic thing.
Yeah. So
picture pantries.
Picture a 7-Eleven with a full deli and a gas station. That's Wawa. There's a Wawa right down the street. There's a Wendy's. There's a Chipotle. It's a burrito. I think it's Moe's actually.
Yeah, Moe's.
But it's a burrito joint.
There's Uno's, and I think there's a Target. A mile away. There's not much.
That's about it. And then right next to the event center is Arnold's, which is like a Dave & Buster's, but the old school style Dave & Buster's, where it's like an actual arcade with a bowling alley and, real arcade machines, not just claw machines to get tickets and tchotchke shit. But aside from that, there's really not much close to the event center. So
you're saying bringing buy a 24 packet of water at a Walmart or something.
Yeah, I would come slightly prepared, knowing that all you're going to have for food close by is limited and your convenience close by is limited.
Hey, man, I love fast food, so Wendy's is good with me. Wendy's and Qdoba, I can live off of that.
Yeah. You don't want to eat at the convention. You don't want to eat at the Expo Center.
I never do.
No.
It's just and the Philadelphia Expo Center it's just a warehouse. That's all it is. So I know Midwest was a warehouse and then the giant outdoor tent.
Well, now it's a convention center now.
Yeah, it's just a ginormous warehouse, and that's it.
And that arcade, I remember always being subpar. At least the last couple times I've been.
It's not a MagFest, arcade. It's not a Midwest Gaming Classic arcade. It is subpar. You'll probably see about 60 machines, maybe 70 machines, and their free play arcade, actual console setup is very limited.
And a quarter of them break about halfway through the show.
Yeah. The biggest thing about TMG, which from what I've seen, it would be on par with Portland, SoCal, and maybe even a little better than Midwest, is the vendor hall. The vendor hall is very good. Which, if you go to MagFest, you'll know that the vendor hall is garbage.
That's what we've heard. That's what we've heard. Yeah.
MagFest has about 3 people selling games.
And that's, to me, is a big deterrent for not wanting to go to MagFest.
MagFest is for the raver gamer.
It's for weebs.
It is. It's a weeb show. It's somebody who wants to go and concert out and panel out. It's the vendor hall is trash, and the arcade it's good. It's big, but it's so crowded. It's not even worth it. I'm jealous of PRG.
The one thing about PRGs, we found a vendor now who's there every year who is below price charting pricing, and he will come down. So we've said we call this table the honey hole, and we make sure, at least my goal is, and I think I've kind of sold it to some people this year, that you hit that guy first before you go to anywhere else. You find what you want, then you go look around, because no one's going to beat this guy's prices.
There is one guy at TMG. He's there every year. Who's actually at other shows locally. He does imports only, and he's got about 3 to 4 tables of solid imports. And his name's Carlson, and he's a good dude. He has good prices. He's willing to work on all of his prices, and it's all import. It's all Famicom, Super Famicom, import Dreamcast, import Saturn.
I think I bought some PC Engine from him.
Yeah, Carlson's a good dude to work with. He's you'll see him when you get there. He's a short guy, bald, glasses, like really good dude to work with, and his prices are all reasonable and workable. You can talk him down. But if you're looking for anything import, that's the guy to talk to. Man, I just can't believe you guys are coming to TMG.
Yeah.
Like I said, last time we talked, Jason, you said, I got to get you guys out to TMG one of these times. And I was like, well, maybe one of these days.
Holy shit. This is like blowing my mind right now. Man, to actually meet you guys, that'd be so badass. I didn't make it to Cartridge Con because it's just life.
Yeah. I'm probably not going to be
now
going,
we're bringing life to you.
Yeah.
It's like, you're experiencing birth twice, within the same time. You're going to have your kids, and then you're going to have us, right?
It's just, I don't know. It's just, well, like you said, yeah, you're like a daily part of my lives. You have been for a while, like for many years. You guys have all been part of my life. So to actually meet everybody in person, I've been dying for something like this. And I met Ben, and I met Duke, but that's it. And that was still surreal.
Is P1 showing up, or I never?
We haven't really gotten. Yeah, we haven't really gotten into it with them.
He just got back this week,
I mean, but Chris is as far as the States goes, this is the closest show like ever that okay, so maybe Retro, what is it? Retro World Expo in Connecticut's probably the closest, but this is the second closest big show.
It's only what, like 16 hour drive from
Probably.
Halifax, something like that.
I'm always amazed by how far out there they are.
It's because he's on a peninsula. He has to drive all the way north.
Let's go to Maine. Let's go to Maine and then head like another 4 hours east.
Yeah, I mean, it's the main reason he goes to bed, because he's so far out east.
Yeah,
it's like 2 a.m. for him right now.
I never thought there was something different than East Coast time, and then there's P1 time.
Yeah.
Atlantic Standard, which I'd never heard of.
Yep, I honestly have never heard of that time zone until talking with him. He's like, I'm like, aren't you on the East Coast? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, it's only 10 o'clock. He's like, not by me. It's not. It's 11. I'm like, what?
Yep.
He's talking about going to PRG. I don't know.
That's
P1.
like, I think Tokyo's closer than PRG to him.
If you you just fly over the top, right? Like,
so probably like 8 hours or something.
I have a lot of limited run. Is anybody into limited run stuff?
Not really.
I haven't been. The Celeste one, I'm like on the fence about, and I only have a couple days to make up my mind on that. But they haven't hooked me yet, and I'm kind of glad that they haven't hooked me yet.
I mean, I'm sitting here right now looking at 20 PS4 games, and then I think I have about 30 to 35 Vita games in the closet, all from like the beginning of limited run, like when they started, the first 30, 40 games.
I think the only ones I would be into potentially would be the Shantae ones, but I'd have to play them first. I have them digitally. It's just like that's all that's kind of left. I've only gotten the ones that I've like been really into getting, and that's like Shadow Complex and Ease Origin. That's it.
Shantae.
Current game of the month for like I guess another day.
We did do that yesterday at the record, so
I swear to God, if Jake and Travis don't show up to TMG, I'm gonna light the building on fire.
Oh no, they'll be there.
Yeah,
they'll be there.
They're
Travis
for sure probably will be there.
Trav's
with daughter in tow.
Yeah. Travis is a for sure because he's part of the planning committee, and I'm almost certain Diego is a sure thing too. But he was a sure thing last time, and
as long as he doesn't have another baby.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, Duke and Yoshi are for sure.
Yep. Oh, Duke and Mother Brain as well was like, "Are you serious?" Like,
yeah,
they were super excited about it.
So, Duke and Mother Brain are, probably 3 hours south of me almost.
Yeah,
it's so crazy because it's only like a state and a half away, but it's like 3 hours away.
Well,
they're Southern Peninsula of Maryland.
Yeah, they're Eastern Shore.
Yeah, they're way down there in the tip of Maryland. And then Ben Yoshi is Harrisburg, which he's actually farther from TMG, I think, than I am. But he's in the same state. Like, I think he's about an hour and a half away from TMG. I'm about an hour away from TMG. So that's it. That's all we have. And then, like you said, Chris, you're the next one, I think, closest in Virginia. And there's really not a lot of us out this way. And then Scott from, VG Collectaholic in Connecticut's probably a 3.5, 4, probably like a 3.5 to 4 hour drive from me north. And
if you want to see a limited Cartridge Club area, look at Vancouver.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could still hit up Portland.
Yeah. I need a passport and to take a train, but that would be about it. If you can't tell, I do not travel.
Man, I can't believe that. All y'all show up to TMG. Unbelievable. We get pretty shit-faced at TMG, that's all I'm going to say. I hope y'all can drink.
Oh, come on, I'm from Wisconsin. Are you kidding me?
Brian, I'm usually carrying a backpack with a 12-pack in it. I'm walking around the show pounding them back as I move. So I'm usually pretty shitty by the end of Saturday. Good times. Man, that would be amazing. And like I said, if anybody needs anything, let me know. Hit me up.
Yeah.
I got a lot here.
I'll send you a list after this or tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll probably do look through the console lists and make a whole thing. I've been looking shit up just like you guys have been talking, just because I'm curious now. Like, if I have anything that I just need to get rid of because there's no point in me having it, and it's just money sitting there. And like, I don't know if these would be of any interest to anyone here. It's just like I already showed Troubleshooter a few times.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, if you're looking for that, yours for probably a pretty good deal on it because I did not pay much. And this one on PS2, it's like I looked out for this and I got it for really cheap. It's like I looked at it and it's like I looked how much it's worth and I looked back at the game. It's like, yeah, I don't need this. It's Mobile Suit Gundam versus Zeta Gundam, and it's worth like $60 right now.
Mm-hmm.
And this still has like the registration on the manual. Super
obscure Gundam game.
Yeah, I think I got it for like somewhere between $5 and $15.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like that was on my shelf. It is now officially off my shelf. It's like, yeah, no, I don't like it that much.
my two probably most impressive collections that I have remaining that would be up for sale or trade or anything would be my Game Boy Advance and my DS collection. I have most everything that's anything on both of the two systems. So, like, I've got a complete in-box Pocky and Rocky with Becky. I've got, Little Red Riding Hood Zombie Barbecue. I've got a lot of the really weird, random, obscure shit on the two systems. If that's your gig.
I don't think anything value-wise is ever really, like, just for the stuff I go for, is ever going to unseat Conker's Bad Fur Day. That's just, like, a solid. Like, unless I can, like, get someone really, really looking for a loose copy of, what's that freaking baseball game on television? The one that required the computer module. I've got that one.
It's an oddball one.
Yeah, it's very odd. I got it in a shopping cart for 25 cents.
Nice.
Along with like 25 other games, like 50 cents a pop. It was like $13 for the whole thing and Battle for Naboo. And I think when I calculated it on price charting at the time, it was like $200 worth of games. It's literally, it was like a little red, like carrying grocery basket. And I looked in there, I'm like, well, take the whole thing up to the counter.
So what's going on Cartridge Club Prime here?
What about it?
You get into some unusual territory, it seems.
What's
Stuff
that?
P1 and P2 would have never chose.
That's the main reason why we took over.
Yeah, I like it.
Stuff that people will play.
Yeah, like
I hope I instilled a little spark of energy with Katamari back in December.
We don't have.
Yeah. Well, did we end up covering Halo and we'll be covering Shenmue within the same year period?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, May to May. Yes.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Not cover like 4 turn-based RPGs a year.
Yeah, and like all around February.
We'll find a time to put one of those in there, but we realized that there was a little bit of burnout to start 2018 there, so
Need something short and fast, right?
Yeah, we're probably never going to have another Dragon Quest VIII in February situation.
no, there will be no more of that cutesy let's play a massive RPG in the shortest month thing ever again. We're going the love theme. That's why we're playing Catherine for February. And yes,
God, you would have been like, "What's Catherine?" Like,
yeah, that's going to be a wild show. I'm just going to say that now.
You need to actually put like a parental advisory warning.
We might have to, like, because
Duke, don't let your children listen to this episode.
I was going to put that out there for the Catherine thing. If P2 was involved in that podcast, or just the game in general, I would maybe put money down on whether he would consider those character designs chibi or not.
I'd say no.
Yeah, I'd say no for like logical reasons, but with P2, you never know. Like, his criteria for chibi is very loose.
That might be the first Prime show that includes pillowcase covers.
Yep, I've got that over there.
It's kind of creepy.
And boxer briefs.
The first game in the Cartridge Club that came with boxer briefs in a pizza box. That was one of those collector's editions. Like, I have no idea what this game is. I'm getting that anyway because why the hell not? This is the batshit insane thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I pre-ordered that game specifically based on the special edition.
That's crazy.
Like, that's too amusing not to get. Alongside the other one I did that for was Record of Agarist War, the like extra naughty limited edition or something. Sold that for $40 a year or two ago.
I still have the jumbo Ni no Kuni 2 collector's edition in my closet that I've never opened.
So is the Shenmue podcast going to be very divisive? I've always heard Shenmue's a little bit.
I've never played it. I'm actually nervous about it.
I'll tell you this: it's not. It's gonna be nothing but positive.
Yeah, just like Secret of Mana, everyone's gonna love it.
I also edit the podcast.
I'm so glad I came back to this fucking chat room. God damn it, Andrew. I'm out. Fuck y'all. Like
I said, I edit the podcast, so it's gonna be very positive, basically. Yeah. It could be a really short show, but it's gonna be very positive.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of odd technical issues. Like, people are gonna sound like really choppy. Like, it's almost like you're cutting words next to each other, so it sounds like they're talking really positively about something.
That Homer Simpson on Hard Copy episode where gets accused of sexual harassment.
The Secret of Mana episode was the only one I wanted to punch my radio with. I was like, I wish I could just burn this whole truck to the ground while I'm driving and listening to this.
Well, they did do a rebuttal one, right?
The rebuttal made me want to light my truck on fire as well. Because even that praise was not good enough.
Hey, I feel that I have that feeling every time I listen to Kevin or Rambox talk about Star Wars.
Yeah,
which is like every episode.
Well, that's because
I'm behind for a reason.
You know that main reason why is because they're Trekkies.
Yeah, which makes me also want to burn my Enterprise to the ground.
It's like the funny thing is like we make the Star Wars with Star Trek joke. It's like I've been watching Star Trek like all weekend. Like I watched the premiere of Discovery. I liked both the episodes. Like I need more Star Trek right now, so I started watching Voyager.
Not that I'll probably ever go back and see this, but Kevin, if you watches this, what makes a person in life decide to go towards Star Trek instead of Star Wars? Like, where is that divisive path in life?
Well, the reason is because there's science to it, right?
So like, why not both?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, not to give Kevin too much shit, but it's like one thing that like really like raised an eyebrow. It's like really like of liking that but not liking other things. It's like like relatively cerebral films like Arrival. It's like they just slide right off them for some reason. I don't. It's like okay.
How'd you go down this path? But all the other things, it was like blinders on, like horse blinders. Like all this doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I blame it on Trekkies.
Yep, I do too.
Well, he marches to the beat of his own drum, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's very unapologetic about it.
Yep.
Yep.
Lots of stirring the pot.
So podcast of the year was Polykill, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
They may have been podcast of the year last year if they had been around for the entire year.
Or they promoted it on their show. That's the thing is STC was the big heavy pusher last year.
Yep.
And they won. And then this year, Polykill kind of really started pushing it probably for the last month, and they had actually a really big turnout. So
Well, and now R3 is throwing the gauntlet down.
Mm-hmm.
If you saw that today.
What's this?
Hodge and Fraser's podcast.
They have a podcast?
Mm-hmm.
They do?
God, I've been under a rock.
Yeah.
It's fairly recent.
They there are 5 episodes in. They just posted the 5th episode to the club site, which is something that they hadn't done yet.
I miss Fraser. Like, I miss PPG.
Yeah, so they're doing this was their wrestling episode was the one that released today.
So what's going on with J-Rock? Is he ever coming back? I mean, he's still a fixture, but I mean, like, is he ever going to make content again? Ever?
I don't think so. But I think he's back. I mean, he will. If you DM him, he DMs you back. He's not he's not gone. He just he pops in and out, and it's just how he is right now. He's I don't know if he's between jobs, but it's just kind of where he's at right now, where he's just enjoying life at the moment.
Wasn't he just doing odd jobs?
What's up?
Wasn't he just doing odd jobs here and there?
Yeah,
intentionally.
Yeah, he's just enjoying life because he's had some.
He's hippieing it up.
Yeah, he's hippieing it up. Is perfect way of saying it. Got sick of the norm.
That's
dude.
Right,
you missed him in Chicago. He just disappeared for the night. We were like, he's like, I'm gonna go see a metal show, and then he came back at 7 a.m.
I think Bill said he went to see one of his lady friends.
Yes, but he also went to a metal show. He also went to, he had friends in Chicago.
They went together.
Yeah,
he went. I think they went to the show together.
Yeah, and all of a sudden I'm walking out to breakfast at 8 a.m, and here he comes walking in. I'm like, "Are you just getting back now?" Yeah. All right, I'll see you later.
No offense, guys. I love y'all nerds, but I would love to hang out with J-Rock probably more than anybody in the club. I just feel like me and him would be on the same wavelength. I would love to hang out with J-Rock, maybe eat some mushrooms and hang out for a while.
Oh, believe me.
He just seems like the guy to hang out with.
Didn't he have the bottle of Jaeger?
Yeah,
I'm there.
Pretty sure.
See? I'm there.
Well, yeah, he also puked it up too in that bathroom the next morning. I remember the next day they said he was hugging the toilet or something like that the next day. So
hey, the party's already done at that point. It's okay.
But that was because the story behind that is that he puked it in the toilet, and then it came back up. The toilet was broken in that toilet, so he had to go ask for a plunger. Oh. There was a giant line because in
front of a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Because I heard that podcast. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, because they got that shit room or something like that. They got a real bad room. Kevin, Sarah, and J-Rock that first night. So my room was great.
Hey, my room was great too.
You guys caught the renovated side of the hotel?
Yeah.
No, I think Kevin did.
Yeah. We were our rooms were under construction. Yeah.
Jeez.
JR's gotta be having the time of his life. They just legalized pot in Canada, so
they're about to legalize it here in Jersey too. Full recreational.
If you thought he wasn't present enough before.
Yeah. He's busy now.
Yeah.
He's really enjoying life.
Yeah.
It's probably more expensive though.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not that expensive in Oregon.
No, really?
I thought Minnesota just legalized it yesterday too.
Like full legalization, it's actually cheap in Oregon, Musty?
It's very cost effective.
Yeah,
it's not cheap. It's not like you're buying a 30-pack of Old Milwaukee, you
get the same effect though.
Yeah, or Boxer Light for $12. You're not buying a 34-pack of Boxer Light for $12 or something.
Yeah, but if I can get ripped up for the night for $10-20, I'm good.
Oh, easy.
Our hotel at PRGE was next to a distillery, so
and there was another one 2 blocks down the road too.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're right next to a dispensary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's right across from the convention center. Like the convention center front doors, you walk straight out and across the street, and there's one right there.
Man.
So 2 years ago, Musty, when we went for the first time, it was a medical dispensary.
Yes.
And then last year they made it, because when it became recreational state, you went from medical to recreational. So
yeah. So Jason, 3 pre-rolls for like $10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, I get tore up all Saturday night for $10.
It was it was a good vacation.
That's cheaper than a 12-pack Yingling.
I think Julian was joking about I think how he's like go to TSA and say, I don't know how that got here. We were like, no, it's a terrible idea.
It's just a pack of cigarettes, sir.
Yeah.
That is nothing, sir.
These are not the joints you're looking for.
Well, I went with Julian that last night because I wanted to see a dispensary. How it is. I've never been to one, so I was like, I'll go with you.
Like walking into a vape shop, basically.
And the first thing I do, I walk in and there's a fat white guy wearing a Rastafarian hat. I'm like, yep. It's like you walk right into the place and like.
Yeah, it's like the dead pigeon meme. It's like, I don't know what I was expecting.
Yeah,
you walk in and you're like, man, that is exactly what I expected to say. Holy shit.
And then they try to make you feel real. It felt real classy in there too.
And they know their stuff too. Mm-hmm. That was one thing I noticed, is that they were super informed, and like willing to like clarify there's some stuff in there that's just like, are you serious? People actually ingest this? They're like, oh, it's 99% THC. I was like, what? like who needs this? Who really needs this?
I've tried to explain to folks the difference between nerds and dorks, especially to those who aren't nerds or dorks. And you met a whole lot of really big dorks because that's what they're into. That's their jam. And they're really good at it. And they know everything there is to know. They're a bunch of dorks for weed. We're a bunch of nerds. It is the way it is. We know a lot about a lot, and we're real nerdy about it. So it is what it is. Those were a bunch of dorks you met.
Yeah.
Weed dorks.
Weed dorks.
It's true.
So, I'm trying to think of any foods that are in like you can only get in Pennsylvania. I had Scrapple and I did not like it that much.
No,
I was trying to think. No, it was okay.
So Scrapple is They take all the bits of, so like you've heard hot dogs are made of all the like bits of the pork that nobody wants to eat. Well, like Scrabble's made of the bits of the pork that they don't use in hot dogs.
Oh, God. Is it put in hot dog form though, or?
So it's ground up and it's in a loaf. It's pressed into a loaf
form. That's like the most worst kind of form there is.
It's like pimento loaf, and so they slice this loaf into about 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch pieces, and they fry it so that it's really crispy on both sides. And it is the consistency of a crab cake. So it's that kind of like,
but in pork form.
But it's a pork crab cake essentially. It's a crispy pork crab cake, so it's crispy on the outside and like a little mushy on the insides.
I think I had it cooked into an omelet.
Yeah, no, you don't want to do that. You want it pork roll. You want it scrapple, egg, and cheese, and it's just fried really nice and crispy and thin, so that's crunchy. And it's like it's a pork crab cake.
You almost said pork roll. That's more in New Jersey.
Yeah, you'll also get pork roll in Philly too, which is pork roll is
It's like ham bologna, basically. That's what it looks like, at least.
It's more like it's halfway between like a bologna and a salami. So it's more of a processed like a bologna, where it's that like more of a mushy texture, and they fry it so that it's real thin and crispy. But the taste is more like a salami, where it's like a spiced bologna. Pork roll is its own thing, and it's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, I like pork roll.
Do you have your go-to for Philly cheesesteaks too, or no?
Oh yeah, man! Like if you want cheesesteaks, I'll take you to some cheesesteaks in the city. Yeah. You don't want to go to Pat's and Gino's. I'll take you to Pat's and Gino's, but it's garbage.
It's nothing. Yeah, it's nothing great.
It's touristy garbage.
Yeah,
and I think one of the owners.
You go there to get your picture taken there, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I think one of the owners is kind of racist, from what I remember.
No, Pat's.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like Pat's and Gino's is your touristy, and then aside from that, Philly has two types of cheesesteaks. There's a sliced ribeye cheesesteak where it's like sliced meat, and then the other one is a chopped cheesesteak where
that's what I prefer.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys get outside of state, but everybody that calls something a Philly cheesesteak, it's not a Philly cheesesteak. But those are the two.
You gotta get the whiz on it for me. You have to get the whiz on it for me too. That's I love the whiz on it. It's so good. It's so good.
Which is the cheesesteak place under the bridge? There's near the casino. I cannot remember the name of it.
Well, the biggest ones in the city is Pat's, Gino's, Jim's, which used to be Chinks, but Chinks is offensive.
You don't
they
say.
Changed the name to Jim's.
Yeah, you said that was like, yeah, they changed their name real quick.
it's been Chinks since like 1930.
Was it spelled offensively, or was it spelled,
how else are you going to spell chink?
Yeah, I don't think there's really enough room for error on that one.
I don't know. Maybe it's an East Coast thing. They're like, we spell it like this, even though it's spelled this way. They're not
spelled with a Q
with an X.
Yeah. This letter is silent,
It was Chinks, like Chink apostrophe S.
Okay.
They changed that to Jim's. And they only changed it to Jim's like 3 years ago because
much safer name.
Wow, yeah, but it was the 30s. Like it's not anything offensive back then. It was even before the war. So it's Pat's, Gino's, Chinks or Jim's, De Lissandro's, Steve's, Princess Steaks, and that's pretty much it. Like when you want like the creme de la creme, that's pretty much it. There's like 5 different joints you can go to, and there's a bunch of other people that make steaks which are really good, but that's the highlights, man. Like
sure.
And there's nothing like a Philly steak. I've been to other states. I've had Philly steaks in Texas and freaking Kentucky and Tennessee. No.
I think I'm thinking of Tony Luke's.
Yeah, Tony Luke's is a chain. So Tony Luke's is like going to, it's not quite Subway. It's not that bad, but it's close.
I was turning out the other direction. It's like, how bad do you have to be not quite Subway?
Yeah, like so Subway is like super chain, like everywhere. This is like regional chain, so it's like Subway Junior. of cheesesteaks.
I was gonna say, you guys hit the freaking hat trick in terms of topics where I just cannot engage. It's like booze, pot, and then like different like yeah, and it's like I was the straight edge vegan sitting over here going, this seems like a really fun conversation that I can take part
Andrew, that's Philly in a nutshell, man.
Yeah.
we're drunk high on cheesesteaks all the time.
Yeah, it's like straight edge vegan sitting over here hosting this call where everyone's just talking about pot, booze, and freaking cheesesteaks.
That's where I live, man. Like, I'm usually drinking a beer, smoking a joint, and eating a cheesesteak. That's how it goes.
Like everyone else is having a good time having this conversation.
I mean, we could be talking about math, so there's that.
Yeah, true. Fair enough.
or obscure electronics theorems and stuff.
Yeah, I'd rather eat cheesesteaks high while drinking.
Did you guys do pickups? Was that all before I got here? Okay.
Oh yeah, it was like
I think 2 people went.
Yeah, I don't even remember what was shown.
I haven't picked up anything. I don't even know what the last game Red Dead 2 is the last game I bought, and I hate it.
I'm not shocked.
I hate it.
I haven't played it.
All right.
It's in my house, but I haven't played it.
My mom is into Red Dead, but I just 10 hours it gets really good. But like,
I would say, when did it get the hooks? It got its hooks in me probably at that point, but I was, Ryan bolted.
I'm gonna step away for a minute.
Okay. I found that once I got past that snow level, which was
shit.
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about it on the podcast because we did that for November. You know, the Rockstar is really kind of leaning on them on the fact that A, this game is going to be massive. They're setting it up for that, and then B, it's like most games, like they give you that big like. For lack of a better term, money shot at the beginning where it's like all of a sudden it's like, wow, look, this is amazing. Like you walk out of the vault in Fallout, or you walk out of that dungeon in Oblivion, and you're like, wow, this world is beautiful.
So why did I walk into a blizzard?
Right. So they instead turned things on its head and said, look, we're going to give you no visibility, and we're going to let you just kind of be in this little bubble with your character. And I don't know, is an interesting move, but it did put off a lot of people.
The pacing is awful.
Well, I mean, the pacing is it's a massive game, but it's funny how quickly the conversation has stopped. Like even the online, like no one's talking about that. Like very few people are talking about that. At least
mobility and transportation in the game is atrocious.
Yeah, there's some.
It is horribly slow.
Yeah, there's some rockiness there that gets
walking and running and riding a horse. I'd rather pull my eyes out. It's like I started playing and I'm like, I don't know, probably 3.5, 4 hours. I'm still in the frickin' snow. That's all I can say is I'm still in the snow and I'm still trying to do stupid side quests and learn how to play the stupid game because the tutorial's like 5 hours long. And I can't get. It's just like The Witcher 3. I can't get through it. I can't get through this slog of a tutorial.
That's all right.
The mobilities, I just can't get past how slow he moves.
Yeah, and he's kind of like, and he decelerates too. Like the moment you let off, like he then starts to slow down, so he's still going. Yeah, like if you look at that versus like GTA 5, the control schemes are entirely different. I mean, like the feel is different. The feel is very
Fallout or Skyrim or any other big open world game like that you can traverse. You know, you when you're walking, you're slow, but your traversal, if you need to, you can move quickly.
Yeah,
and it's a slog, man. And I get it. You're in the snow, but does it get any better, or does he still move that slow?
Are you talking about Red Dead or Skyrim?
Red Dead. When you get out of the snow, is it the snow that's hindering you, or does he really just move that slow?
I think the snow is a contributor there because you also don't have anything else to distract you, right? Like once you're out in the world, like there's vistas to look at, and you kind of some of that stuff kind of is forgivable because you have
something.
Right. But I will be honest that because one thing we discovered was that you can, once you get your horse up to speed, if you turn on the cinematic camera, he will continue to whatever the waypoint is that you told him to go to.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Isn't bad.
Which is nice. But some of those rides are super long, and I fell asleep more than once.
Yeah.
While that was happening. And
the last mission where I double tapped to keep pace and I just held the button and he just kept pace. And it took a very, very long time to get where we were going.
I just gotta roll back on something for a second. Did you say like the pacing, it's like it doesn't feel as bad because you're going somewhere that's worthwhile?
I mean, like at this point, I'm still like 3-4 hours into the game. I'm still in the tutorial, technically speaking.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if what the selling point attempt there was. It's the destination, not the journey.
I guess. Because I mean, literally, the problem, like, and so that's a two-edged sword because, like Musty's saying, the auto travel is nice. You can double tap and he'll keep pace with people walking or on a horse or whatever you're doing. You'll keep pace, but you also don't have to interact at that point. So now your long journey is auto long journey.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're just sitting there holding a button and watching for like 15,
that's why I dozed off.
Yeah, it's auto without Grand Theft.
That's right.
And the dialogue, you can't skip through anything. Like even if you wanted to, you go back, you die, you start over again, and you still got to listen through like the slog of it, and then you can skip as you go on. Like it's just, holy shit, is it slow?
Yeah, that kind of stuff. It's like, why not just do a cinematic at that point?
Right,
for like 90% of the time. Just like sometimes it can be good for like a short burst, but at length, no.
I don't want to ride from Colorado to fucking Kansas. Just put me in Kansas and give me a cinematic saying we rode from Colorado to Kansas.
Well, the first game had a train, right? You could take from area to area, right? I thought it did.
You could take a train, or there were carriages. You could ride
this one too, but you have to get to find the stations to do it, right?
Yeah, but I think even from what I remember playing Red Dead Redemption, it was none of your objectives were terribly far away. It wasn't a 10-minute ride, a 15-minute ride to something. Everything was within the town you were in, within the vista you were in. It wasn't like, oh, we're going to go hunting. We're going to go to that fucking mesa that's 2.5 miles away on this horse. Right? If I remember right, like everything was...
I think you're right, yeah.
It was kind of hubbed. Everything was hubbed around central locations. I don't know. It could just be me. I could just be like, a negative Nancy at this point, but shit, man.
Red Dead 2 seemed like very hit or miss.
I would say it's more hit than was miss, but I can honestly see the points that Jason's making.
I just want to get to the hits, man. Like, just get me there.
And that's the thing is this game is very much they created a very large game and they want you to.
They want you to play it, damn it.
Well, they want you. I guess
this is the first game you've ever played in your life, and so you need to know how to use the R2 button, and then 30 minutes later you need to learn how to use the L2 button. 15 minutes later it's the L1 button. I don't need to know all that. I've played video games before. Just get me to the fucking game. Let me just play.
I hate when games do that. I just experienced that. I mentioned this earlier, but I'll mention it again just because Jason wasn't on. But like, I played the demo beta of Anthem over the weekend. Played being very useless of the term, just based on performance of that game over the weekend. I got maybe 30 minutes to an hour in there, and most of it was loading screens and the menu. But you open that game up, not final version, but still, like, you get in there and you open the pause menu. It's like pop-up. This is how you use the pause menu. Go to the next section of the pause menu. This is how you use this section of the pause menu. And every following section, it's like, it tells you that in all those places. It tells you in the map. It tells you when you go to your freaking Javelin. It tells you that when you click on something in Javelin. It's just like, every step of the way, it's telling you this is how menus work. It's like, I can read. Thank you. But then you get into the actual gameplay, and it's like, here's this Iron Man suit. Good fucking luck.
I don't get it. I mean, every game, when you go into the options menu, it gives you a control scheme. When you open the control scheme, it shows you a controller. It tells you what every button does.
Yeah.
Why do you need to give me 3 hours of tutorials to tell me how to use them?
No more manuals. Yeah,
but it's like...
But it's in the options screen. All you got to do is go to options, control scheme, and it shows your controller, and it tells you what every button does. Why do you need to show me how to aim and how to shoot and how to reload and how to run and how to jump? It's all there.
Yeah.
When did this happen? Like, why? Like, I get millennials are kind of dumb, but I mean, like, when did this happen? Like,
but if PS2, I think.
Yeah, you're right. It was PS2 and on. Like, I never noticed this before, but it was
like
The Witcher 3. I've heard nothing but complete accolade for it. I can't get through the tutorial. It's 2 hours of slog because I just need to run this direction and jump this direction and attack that direction. Stop. Let me play.
Now it's wild because manuals now are non-existent.
Yep.
Or one sheet.
Yeah.
And they put all that then learning in the game, whereas it's like if you go back a few years, you get your like 20-page manual, all that stuff is laid out for you then, and they don't, you get right to it, which is exactly the point that you're trying to make, right?
It doesn't take you that long to read the manual.
Right.
I can read a manual in 15 minutes. It doesn't take 3 fucking hours to read a manual.
Remember when Mario told you how to jump?
Yeah. No. Yeah, I mean, like, stage 1-1. You ran up to the Goomba. Guess what? If you don't jump, you die. Check it out. This button jumps. There you go. Game done.
Yeah.
Start running and jumping.
Yeah.
Why is this so complicated?
Things have gotten way more complicated, but it's like don't assume that this is the first video game everyone's ever playing. Especially if you're a convoluted mess.
I'm not going to go buy Red Dead 2 and go, that's my first fucking game I've ever played in my life.
Exactly.
Red Dead 2.
Yeah, it's like, if it's a simplistic game that is meant for, like, not to say just younger audiences, because people can get into games at any point in life, but it's just like, there's games that would appeal to someone just getting into it, and there are games that are for people that are in for the long haul. Red Dead 2 is a long haul game. You don't need to tell people how to play it.
You could literally die and learn the controls by dying and respawning faster than going through the tutorial.
Yeah.
You could literally grab the controller and just walk into a bear and it will maul you to death and you'll go, oh shit, I should probably move. How do I move? And you'll start hitting buttons and you will learn that faster than the tutorial tells you how to do it.
Even in the chat mentioning there were only 2 buttons on the S. I get it. Thank you. The point still applies.
Like,
trial and error. Not like trial and error to the degree of like Inside or Limbo, but still. Like if you don't start swinging in Spider-Man, you're gonna fall.
Right? Like,
and that's a good one. You jump out the window and it says, "Here's how you swing. Do this or fall and die."
Done.
Yeah.
30 seconds.
Yeah. It pauses you there for a second, but it's just like it gives you like a couple seconds.
Musty, what's your mentality when you play games like that? I mean, I'm not trying to be anything.
No, you mean games that are overly handholdy? Is that what you mean?
How do you get through it? How do you handle it? Do you just like, 30 more minutes. An hour more. 10 more minutes. Like, or is it just, I know I've got this. Let me just get through it and it's done.
The thing is, a well-paced game doesn't hit you with all that stuff right out the gate. Yeah. And so games that are like, you need a lesson before you get into it, right? Those, I'm trying to think of a good example. I for some reason, Mass Effect is popping into my head, right? But Mass Effect, the prompts that show up, those stop within about an hour. And, and I don't feel like I'm continuing to need to learn new aspects beyond, I don't know. That's not a great example.
Diablo 3 does it. So Diablo 3, you'll start the game out. They'll give you a character. You'll have one of your random buttons, R2, L2, L1, R2, whatever is available.
You'll have a ability to start with.
After 5 or 6 levels.
And it builds.
One pops up. Another one pops, and that's it. And you, for that 30 seconds that you level up, that trigger becomes available, and it says, this new trigger does this. Bam. Done. And you never see it again. But you're still playing the game completely on your own without any hand-holding. And I've played other games that were very similar. I'm trying to think of ones that I played, but Shadow of Mordor I just went through. Shadow of Mordor was the same thing. Like, as soon as a button became available for use, it was a snap. This is how it works. Done.
Yeah.
Horizon did the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, and most of those games then put you in a scenario where you have to use it
quickly, though. It's not a
right.
Here's a quick.
It's the
example. It's more of an example than a tutorial.
It's the Super Metroid approach, right? Like the Super Metroid approach is like, hey, you just got the high jump boots. If you didn't have the high jump boots, you wouldn't be able to get out of this room. So high jump your way out of here.
Exactly.
But they don't have to tell you. They don't have to tell you now you can jump higher. It's like this. The name of the item
is jump boots.
Jump boots, right? Like,
you seen that door that was like 12 feet above your head that you couldn't reach? Here's the boots. You're done.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought of a. Sorry to potentially cut you off, Musty, but I thought of a relatively, fairly recent game that is for a younger audience that does the tutorials super well. Mario Odyssey. Because it has the tutorials, but it waits for you to it initially introduces you to things, but it never stops you. It just shows you a little thing at the bottom. And then occasionally, if it thinks you're having trouble with something, it'll just pop that up, but it lets you keep going. It doesn't block your vision. It doesn't do anything. It just shows you the little animation in a little box at the bottom of the screen, and you can go about your day. You can just ignore it. It's not stopping the action to say, hey, do you need help? It's saying, hey, you might be having trouble with this jump. Here's a reminder if you need it.
Hey, listen.
Yeah. But I just think that's like a good way to do it for if you need a tutorial semi-frequently is like context clues. Like if someone's failing a jump over and over, give them the jump tutorial.
Guys, I'm going to call it a night because my internet keeps crapping out right now. Yeah. I keep getting disconnected. So, Jason, good to see you again, buddy.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Don't be a stranger.
I'm trying.
I'll message you tomorrow or today now because it's midnight my time. So
hit me up on Messenger. I'll send you my phone number. We'll hit up in text.
Sounds good. Talk to you guys later.
Good night.
See you, Ryan.
See ya.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems bizarre. Games have changed so dramatically in two systems.
I have to wonder if it's like the proliferation of checkpointing, right? Because before that wasn't. It's funny because I was playing through like some Xbox games that did not have autosave, and boy, what a rude awakening when you realize that it hasn't been saving this whole time.
You lost 45 minutes when you died.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so it's like I don't know if those things coincide because even like if you look at PS2, Xbox, GameCube generation, some games had autosave, but most games had a pretty substantial manual. Still, like the manual downturn hadn't yet happened. That was late 360 PS3.
And you could argue that it's a good thing to kind of get rid of the manual in the sense of it forces developers to put all the needed context into the actual game. Like, you're not going to go to a movie and need to read the program beforehand to understand what you're about to watch.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you're not going to run into a Star Tropic situation where you, sorry, you didn't have the letter. Like,
but it's like when I go to watch a Marvel movie, it's not like they show me, a 16-page storyboard in comics before I get to watch the film. To go, okay, previously on X-Men, these are the characters you're about to watch in this film. That's not like why is that a thing? I know how to use A, B, X, Y, R2, L1, R2. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't understand. What?
We haven't found that balance yet somehow, which is really weird. But I've got a solution for the menu-based prompts. Instead of popping up a window that says, here's the tutorial on how to use pause screen, how about in every single section where there might be some context that needs to be explained, have an assigned button for in the menu, like, say, R3, where you click on that and the tutorial pops up. If you need to know, is a little thing in the corner that says, press this for tutorial.
Yeah,
Boop.
or those games, I think Diablo 3 is one of them, in fact, that you can go into the menus and there is a little check mark toggle box for tutorials that you can have those help, whatever the help tutorial boxes pop up, and you put a check mark for yes or check mark for no.
Yeah.
And they either pop up and tell you the tip screens, I guess is what it is, tip screens. Give me the option.
Yeah, but I still think
I don't need 4 hours of cinematic storytelling to tell me how to use the R2 button and the L1 button.
Right.
Yeah, but I think that would be. I think it would still be like good to have that little button prompt. It's like press this if you need more information.
Yeah.
In menus, because like especially with games like I could definitely use that in Warframe. I've been playing that. Great game. Really obtuse when you're first starting out. It's like I have Googled more than I've played sometimes.
It's just there's only so many buttons on the controller. So I'll say I'm riding a horse in Red Dead and I hit fucking triangle. Oh, wait, he jumped off the horse. I guess I better not hit triangle if I want to ride the fucking horse. You get back on the horse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, look at that. L1 aims. I guess I don't need to aim right now, so I won't use L1. Like, it's very, you hit all 10 buttons you got, and when they do whatever they do, and you're done.
Yeah, you know what I would really like a prompt for? Like, you mentioned the tutorial, like, on or off prompt at the beginning of a thing. You know what I would really like the option to choose beforehand? Invert or not inverted.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it used to be like the 360 had your like universal defaults, which I really liked, and those aren't a thing anymore, which kind of stinks.
Yeah, that was useful. Let's get rid of that.
Right.
Yeah, so all games will invert the Y or the X-axis.
Mm-hmm. At least all of them that had the option. There were some games still on the 360 that did not offer an opportunity to switch it.
Yeah.
Granted, some of those were holdovers from the 5th gen, but
But yeah, like jumping in and you go from playing like Assassin's Creed to playing like Ace Combat, and you want it to just invert, and you have to go all through the settings and change everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your NES set is getting substantial, Musty.
Yeah.
You're looking at what? There. You're at like what, 450 probably? 400?
No way.
Oh, I can't see. Is there shelves below that, or does it stop right there?
No, this. Here, I'll tip down a little bit. This is the IKEA Kallax.
Yeah.
Yes. So I have an 8, a 2, and an 8 across the bottom here. But yeah, it's just.
So then you're still probably looking at like 200, 220.
It's 225, I think.
Yeah, man.
That's
pretty fat.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Whereas I think I've picked up exactly one NES game since we last spoke. It's like, or it might not have even been. It was like Contra was the last one I got. It's like it remains at 17 games and it does not grow or shrink.
When I stopped collecting NES, I think it was like 470 or 490.
1943. That's the latest one I got. That was a little bit ago.
1943 is a good one though.
Oh yeah, found for $10 in the thrift store. Gladly paid it.
I was at like 7 to 8 shelves like that. Yeah, a little bit wider.
Yeah,
but 7 to 8 shelves.
Filter game.
I think I have about 450.
NES, I'm at 220 exactly.
And are you on bookcases, Chris?
I use media shelves. Let me see. Sort of. I don't know if you'd seen them.
Yeah.
Which kind of shelf?
They're kind of like media shelves for like DVDs.
Yeah, I just didn't hear media, I guess.
Yeah, so you're looking at like 8 shelves, right?
Let's see. It's about something like that. About I think 9. I think 8. Yeah, I think 8. Because one of those has a bunch of this rental cases.
Once you hit like 350, almost 400, you stop seeing games that you don't have. I felt, at least. Like, I knew the expensive ones that I didn't have, but the commons, uncommons, like when going to flea markets and game stores and stuff, I just stopped seeing stuff I didn't have.
That's kind of where I am, yeah.
Like, I wanted to walk in and buy a $7 or $8 game, and they didn't have any that I didn't already have on the shelf.
For me, this would be like sports games. This is a lot of what I'm missing that's cheap.
Yeah.
The stuff you don't care about.
Yeah, pretty much.
For the most part, I know there's a lot of sports games from that kind of era that people actually like.
But especially buying lots. I remember when I hit like 300, buying lots at like yard sales and stuff like that, when you got 20, 30 games in a system, I just literally stopped getting games I didn't have. No matter what I was buying, it was all duplicates.
Upside to that being, it's all stuff to flip for the stuff you do want.
True, but it just kind of drained that little bit of excitement that when you got a lot, you look through the box and you're like, oh shit, I don't have those 5 of them. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, get stuff to add to the shelf.
Yeah, you're not exactly going to garage sales to create more work for yourself. You're going to try and find stuff you want.
Yeah.
What? I mean, I'd love to get like Zombie Nation or Power Blade 2 or
Snow Brothers.
Yeah, any of those games, but I'm just not willing to spend the money.
Panic Restaurant.
You know what's funny about it is I held on to a Snow Brothers and I held on to a Jetsons for an incredibly long time, like a couple years. And out of all those high dollar games that jumped in price, those 2 of them just did not want to move for like months and months and a couple years. They just did not want to change. So I ended up selling them off. And now they're finally starting to shift. Like Snow Brothers sat at like $1.25 and Jetsons sat at $1.50 for 3, 4 years, 5 years. Mm-hmm. But the other games like Panic Restaurant went from like $1.50 to $500. Like, I was like, man, why don't I have Square Painter, Adam Shub, mm-hmm. You probably met him at Portland.
Yep.
He had a loose Panic Restaurant, which he got for, oh man, cheap, real cheap, $100, $80 maybe. And this was back when Panic Restaurant was probably like a $200 game, $180 game. And then like a year later or so, he came across a complete in box Panic Restaurant for very reasonable. I want to say like $200. And then within a year or two, it jumped like 4 to 5 times. Now a complete Panic Restaurant's like $1,000, $1,200. And like, I remember that's what it was. He traded a bunch of stuff, a bunch of random $20, $30, $40 games, and ended up getting a box Panic Restaurant for like $300 in trade, I think is what it was. And I was like, oh, you're freaking crazy. This was like 4 years ago. I was like, oh, you're nuts. That's insane to trade all that stuff for that. And he's like, oh, I don't know. I had this game as a kid. I really love it. I'm like, all right, well, that makes sense. And then like a year and a half, 2 years later, it was like, bam, $1,000. And I was like, well, here's egg on my face. Like, holy shit, dude. And all the games that he traded in are still 20, 30, $40.
He's really fun to talk to.
Adam's a fucking riot, man. Him and his girlfriend Nina, they're awesome people.
They both curse like sailors. It's hilarious.
Oh yeah. Well, it's because they're New York kids.
The moment that I was
his like super thick accent.
Yeah. He's from the Bronx. Yeah, the Bronx. No. Yeah, he's from the Bronx and she's from Long Island.
So when I was at his table at PRGE, someone put a drink down on one of his coaster sized canvases. Like the
6-inch by 6-inch ones.
Yeah, they just put their drink down on the table. They weren't even thinking, and he didn't cuss them out. He then decided to vocalize his frustration with me and I can't remember who was standing with me. And I was just like, dude, I feel you, man. I was just like, I didn't do anything. Like you're clearly upset.
You walk up and he's talking to you, and that's when Adam would be like, this show's been going really fucking good, except for, there's got these fucking people that just they feel like they could just put their drink down anywhere, right? And you're like,
that is almost like word for word how he I was just like,
you come to a show like this and you put your work into it, and then these fucking people just think they could put their drink just fucking anywhere,
yes,
right?
That is exactly what he said.
Sure.
Oh my god. Yes.
I'm just. He was talking with some of his buddies at MagFest about his dad turning 69. It was kind of funny. They were like, he's like, oh yeah, he's just just doing his fucking thing and just talking like that.
Yeah, man. So I helped Adam move out of he was on the second floor of so we have row homes in Philly, which are like, you got them in Chicago, just townhouses. Their house is it's a unit of like 10 or 12 houses all in a row. And he was living on the second floor of a row home, which are extremely narrow. Staircases are extremely narrow and tight. And I helped him move all of his shit out of his second floor row home. And he moved 4 blocks down into the third floor of a friggin' row home. And it was even tighter and smaller. And we had to take like these 30, 40, 50, 100-pound shelves up 3 flights of stairs and tight turns to get into his third floor apartment up there. And I'm like, dude, really? Like, really? He's like, you're a superhero. I love you, Jay. I love you, man. Thanks for helping out. And I get it all up there. And he's like, man, now what are we going to do? I was like, we're going to get fucking drunk right now. I was like, this is ridiculous. We just spent 8 hours murdering ourselves. We're going to sit here and get fucking drunk right now in this apartment.
Here's a temperature update in Iowa. It is -17 right now.
Ooh.
Jeez.
The wind chill is, let me pull that up.
That's Fahrenheit for you Canadians.
Sorry.
For me, Canadian, yes, thank you. I'm the only one here.
It is -50 wind chill right now.
That is absurd.
I almost want to do that thing where you take like a cup of water and you throw it up in the air and watch it come down as like snow or like,
it's all
almost
pretty and
yeah, sure.
Little plume above your head.
Yeah, as the wind is gusting past you, and what's the wind?
I'm
like
at I'm at 26. Feels like 13. Yeah, see, Wednesday night, a low of 4. Feels like -10.
We have a high of -16 tomorrow. A high of -16. And then on Sunday, it's going to be 37.
How is everywhere colder than Canada? It's 1 here. That's 33 degrees Fahrenheit.
It is. I read somewhere today that said that it was colder in Chicago today than it is in Antarctica, Siberia, and Mars.
Yep. and Antarctica is actually like 32 degrees all week. It's colder here in New Jersey than it is in Antarctica as well.
Oh,
absolutely insane!
Wow, man, -16. Shit, we don't go to work in negative. We don't go to work.
No, we're not. We're not. I'm working from home. It's kind of why I haven't like tapped out yet. And then my wife's work closed, and then it's also my son's birthday, so we're just gonna keep him home. But yeah. This is
so
nuts.
wait a minute, this Arctic, but Musty, this Arctic chill is coming from Canada, which means that the guys in like Ontario, it's got to be even worse, right?
So the guys in like Winnipeg and Calgary is where this is originating, and then it pushed south. I heard that somebody there, I read something that said that like you can't pay for gas at the pump because it's so cold. You can still pump gas. You just can't, like, the debit card machines aren't working.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, that's oh my God.
Yeah.
I tell you what, you know what's funny is that like I left the iPad for my job and I left my metal detector in my truck the other night and it got down to like 6 at night, right? I came in the next day and I knew for sure because the last time I used my metal detector, it was like 50% charged. I plugged it into the outlet charger and it said that it was fully charged because it was so cold it like wasn't updating, you know, it wasn't registering.
Oh, no.
And then the iPad, I got in the truck this morning to turn the iPad on to see, I would need to look up construction prints in my iPad. It wouldn't even turn on until I plugged it into the charger. And when I plugged it into the charger, it said it had 60% charge. It was just so cold, it wouldn't even
register
fucking do anything. Like it just wouldn't even do anything until it had warmed up slightly with power.
The electrons are just like, I'm done.
Yeah, it's just like, no, we're dead right now. Charge me. Give me some juice or I'm not doing anything. Fuck off today.
Yeah.
If it makes up any difference whatsoever for the fact that it is substantially less cold here, I have daily construction going on next to my house. Like it's the edge house on the street next to what was previously protected green space, and construction on townhouses starts at 6 a.m.
Yeah, it sounds like that sounds like me. I'm that guy. I'm out there jackhammering on your front door at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
That's
It's like
me.
it's not even light out, you assholes.
Yes, to me.
Yep. It's like my house is shaking. Literally shaking. It's like you hear dishes rattle.
Well, keep me posted, Musty. I'm gonna end up, you know, resigning for the night, but keep me posted on how many people are kind of coming.
Yeah, for sure.
You got my numbers you said on Facebook.
I do, yeah, and I put it in my phone. I'll drop you a message in the morning. So
yeah, shoot me a text, and I'll shoot you a text back, and keep me posted on how many people are going. You know, when everything's going down, when you guys are coming in, and I'll start working on stuff and see if I can finagle a Cartridge Club deal.
Yeah, I mean that'd be awesome. I already pinged Travis and Diego to let them know that you had some insider possibilities, and so I think Travis already replied to yeah, let's do that. Like,
yeah, let me see if I can pull some strings because it might be the kind of deal that if you guys are all showing up for the whole weekend for 3-day passes, it may go from $50 to $40 or $50 to $30. You know, just anything is anything.
Yeah.
You know
well,
what I mean?
even if we we'd been talking about doing a table at like a con and using that as like an outreach opportunity.
Yeah.
There'd be no better opportunity than to be like, hey, there's 35 of us. Look, we all have the same shirt on. You know, come talk to us.
And I know for sure every year at TMG, they sell out quote unquote of tables, and then you get there and people's names are empty. People don't show up. People have something happen in the family, and there's tables open. There's always tables open at every show I go to.
And I'm sure organizers hate that happening. Like circumstances are circumstances, but yeah, I'm sure they're like, oh, that one row has like 3 dead spots.
Last year, it was the indie developer section. Half of it was full, and the other half was just tables with name placards, and no one showed up. There was 10 tables with nobody there. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. It was just a whole portion that could fit 60, 70 people in that area standing there that was just empty. Yeah. So let me talk to some people and see if I can pull some strings and get something going. Because especially if we've got 20, 30, 40 people showing up, that's substantial enough to really get something.
Yeah. I just want to say
on your like 3 guys showing up, from a group. Oh, yeah, it's just the 3 of us coming. Do I get a discount? No,
we're the club.
It's fucking 30 of us showing up. Like,
yeah. And I just want to say on the note of like everyone wearing the same shirt, and like getting like interest based on that, it's like I could imagine a scenario where you are just all walking around there, and people are just keep seeing Cartridge Club shirts. Like, what the fuck is this Cartridge Club? And then they look in the thing, and there's a panel. If you guys got a panel, and then everyone was like, what the hell is this? It's like, these guys have a panel. It's like, oh, they do, and then they go to the panel.
Let me talk to some people. I'll start mulling around and shoot some shit out to people. But if you guys want a panel, what would you want it to be? Just like introduction to the Cartridge Club, or would you want it to be a live podcast for an hour where like 3 shows do something small?
Those are certainly options. Last year we at Midwest we did one that was building a community and talking about it was like
how to make a club.
Yeah, it was like how to kind of get your it was more like this is us and this is how we did it. Come join us, but at the same time it was a this is kind of how these are the things that we found that made us what we are now and didn't and not fizzle. So that was what we did. I can't remember who has the audio or somebody has the video on that, but it we didn't bring our own recording like our own audio software or our own mics and stuff. So the way that the guy recorded it came out poorly. Like he taped a lapel mic to a monitor. It's like so when you get somebody, you get some people who are overly bassy. Myself, P1, and when we would really get going, like there was just buzzing, and it's just like
you get like a weird rumble.
Yeah, it was just like it, and there was no way to clean it up. I think Dean even pinged Jason Heine to ask if there was anything that he could think of to try and like tidy that up, but nope, unfortunately.
Yeah, sometimes the audio you got is just the audio you got.
And I think if we would have thought that there would be a need for us to just throw a mic on the table just so we had a backup plan, we would have done it. I think I even had something, like, we just didn't set it up.
Yeah, like, put your phone on the table, plug it in, and leave record on. It's like...
Yeah.
Well, keep in touch with me in the coming weeks. And
yeah,
we'll
for
figure
sure.
something out.
Okay.
All right.
That sounds good. I think I'm tapped out. I know I showed up late.
I was just letting it go because Jason hasn't been on in a while, and we were having a good conversation. So I
gotta be up at 5. So.
Oh, 3.5 hours gone.
Yeah, man. This is how I used to roll back then too when I was on. So waking up at 5 or 6.
You'll get one REM cycle. It'll be perfect.
That's right, man.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Have a good night, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Good to see you, man.